And we are live. Welcome back, people, to another episode of I Said What I Said.
And I meant it when I said it, and that's why I said it, because I meant what I said.
Yes, indeed. Shawn, please don't sip so close to the mic. If you're going to sip, take a step back, goddammit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And we are live. With me today, of course, is my co-host. I go by the name of Roby Hollywood, a.k.a. Mr. Superfly, a.k.a. a brand name like Pepsi. With me, baby, introduce yourself.
I'm Shanairah, also known as Shanairah, period.
Oh, shit, like Madonna. So it's just one
That's
name.
it.
Shanairah, that's it. And with me is a dear friend of mine, somebody I've known for a long time, somebody I call my best friend and a brother to me. Introduce yourself, sir.
Shawn Khan here.
Shawn Khan.
Here with the Roby Hollywood and the lovely Shanairah.
And the lovely Shanairah, baby. So, people, on the subject of the podcast today, we have a lot to talk about today. Heavy week in the news. To begin with, America's dad is now in prison for the next 10 years. Bill Cosby was finally sentenced early last week. They gave him between 3 to 10 years. Now, there's a lot of controversy, obviously, following the story. There is no happy middle. It's either you're a super anti-Cosby and you wish he would die under the jail, like the likes of Amber Rose, or you have some questions that need some answers. So I'm gonna go around, with the panel. First of all, we all grew up around. I would say at least you and I, Shawn.
Oh, yeah.
We were definitely.
What you mean?
For sure.
No, like that in the time where the Cosby Show was the Cosby Show. Like you came in when that was syndicated.
I know the Cosby Show. I know every episode.
No, you know
Cosby
every
Show.
episode because yes, you did. It was one of the highest syndicated shows on television.
I Jello commercials on TV.
Yeah. Did you ever see a Bill Cosby Jello commercial on TV? See, that's how you know you're a little young. You know what I'm saying? We come from that era of like
pre-'89.
Yeah, it's pre. No. Pre-'89. Obviously, I wasn't watching TV either, brother. Stay with me on this one. So I'm gonna start with you, Shawn. So tell me your general view. I'm sure you've been following the stories. You've seen a couple things here and there.
When it comes down to it comes straight up with Bill Cosby. He tried to buy NBC. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard about
he
that.
Tried to buy NBC. All of a sudden, this comes out with 20 years. I understand. MeToo hashtag. All that.
When you say like that, it's like I understand. But see, here's the thing with me. Like, did he actually have NBC buying money? Like, did Bill Cosby actually have that type of guap that he could go out there and buy NBC? Like, was this actually like a real thing that was going on?
I think so, yeah. And I also remember that when I was living in LA as a child, like I remember his son getting murdered by the cops.
Shit! Did I really?
Yeah.
His son got murdered by the cops? How?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that like when I was
really.
Yeah.
Wow,
that is so
look
sad.
Into that.
Yeah, and there's been all kinds of things with Bill Cosby that a lot of people don't know, but personally, at 81 years old, this guy, he's lived his life. He was such a good role model and a good influence, and all of a sudden this comes out, and there's pictures of all these women that I think even are like saying that he did this and that. Mm-hmm. And there's a meme that I saw where he's like sitting there, and these same women are like surrounding themselves with him.
Oh yeah, no. If you listen to the stories, like the stories are crazy. It always starts with like, so I was at Bill's house, and we had a couple of glasses of wine. It was late in the night, and I decided to take off my shirt because it was a little warm in there. And next thing you know, I got America's dad's dick in my mouth. Like that's usually how these stories go. Because to me, here's the thing, right? Like to me. I'm torn in between the two, right? I'm an older brother to 3 women, right? And I'm a firm believer that yes, if you did do that shit, you deserve to die under the jail. But here is where my problem comes in. My problem with me is this. Mm-hmm. Like, why is this shit being judged in a court of public opinion? Like, sexual harassment is the only crime nowadays where you no longer need to go to court. The moment the allegations are made, it's a wrap. Now we know what happened. Like we were watching, like, you know, segueing into like another subject that we're going to talk about today is the whole Kavanaugh hearing thing. And you have, you know, these female senators that go on TV and they say things like, not only these women must be heard, but they must be believed. Look, yes, you must be heard, absolutely, but you must be believed. Like, no questions asked. Like, nobody is gonna, you know, like, look into anything or ask any question. Just as soon as the allegation is made, it must be believed.
Okay, but listen, it's a different ball game when we're talking about 3 decades later and 40 decades later. It's like, you know, in the court of law, there's
400 years?
But honestly,
who's accusing Jesus? Who's accusing Jesus?
Listen, it's been a long time. It might as well have been 40 decades later, you know? Like,
That's
it's
true.
been a long time. The evidence isn't the same. The things that, you know, the evidence to actually prove this person to be guilty, like, that isn't the same. How are you going to really prove? It's like a word against someone else's word.
Okay.
So I feel like when you're sentencing someone in that way, because that's how I feel like Bill Cosby was put in a slammer. It's like so many people's word against his, and
Right.
he can't really defend himself. Plus, he's an elderly person, and he probably didn't even think that they would send him to jail because he's old. I do believe there is some truth to what had happened, but I do not believe it was that much women that are telling the truth. No, I do not. I believe a lot of them knew what was going on, and they felt like if they gave up their panties, maybe they can get a line or two.
But see,
You
this
understand?
is the argument. This is the argument that they're making, right? There's, you know, the argument is, you know, as a trauma victim, which, you know, I can, you know, try to comprehend what it is like, of course, to go through something like that. It's absolutely fucking terrible, right? But they said that, you know, as a trauma victim, sometimes they don't come out right away because of things like shame, things like they won't be believed if they come out right away, and they won't be, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you know, having to admit, exactly what you just said, right? Like the meme with all those women surrounding him, right? So then that's where it becomes, you know, to a certain extent, you can sympathize with that. See, to me, my thing that I want to define is, what do we now call sexual harassment? Like, what do people have to go to jail for? Bad flirting? Is bad flirting a crime now?
Oh,
right?
I have a docu.
No, don't say it's bad flirting. The flirting doesn't require you to really like put your hands on.
No, but now some of these motherfuckers are like losing their whole entire life because they asked a woman out and she said no 1-2 times, and now suddenly they're being treated like they fucking shoved her underneath a set of bleachers and took her, you know what I'm saying, took her to town. Right. Like, so where do we draw the line? Where do we, you know what I mean? Is bad flirting now a thing? So you're saying you have a DocuSign, right?
Yeah. I was gonna start a DocuSign campaign, right? To where any girl that you hang out with, whether she be your girlfriend or anything, from examples that I've seen from my own friends who had ex-girlfriends,
right?
You know,
right?
Be like completely lied and accused of like sexual assault or whatever it is.
Right.
It's a quick like, hey, you want to come over? Cool. Just sign this consent DocuSign real quick. There you go. And
this guy's talking about
what?
He's talking about
I think
prenup.
I feel like, you know how women get when you're gonna give them a prenup after sex. It's the same thing. Like she will not be coming home with you.
Okay, so I should be okay with going to jail whenever you get mad at me.
No. That's really insensitive.
No,
because what that suggests is that I can do anything with you and you've consented. Like, whoa.
No.
Let's take it
the
step by
document
step.
obviously shall be.
I see what you're
shall
saying.
be
But
precise.
my explanation and my explanation to her would be, see, like, you know, I'm not going to treat you badly. Otherwise, you wouldn't be coming back to me, right?
Yeah.
So just to protect myself, I'm not saying that I can't trust you, but I might not be able to trust other people that can influence people that I love in my life.
Yeah, as a woman,
It's
you don't
true.
get offended when a man says that he wants to put on a condom. You're not like, oh, so you think
Well, that's
I'm sick?
protecting.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
the
the same
girl
exact
should
thing.
say, "Do you have condoms?" If she doesn't, then you
because
should
it's
be
a question of
worried.
protection, right? So, but see, when the protection lies on one side as a man, now suddenly it's offensive. How is it offensive? What's the difference between that and a condom? I'm just trying to make sure that tomorrow morning.
Well, how many strangers are you inviting back to your crib? If that's the life you're living, if that's the life you're living, then for sure make them sign non-disclosures as
not only
well.
that, like you're Bill Cosby, like you're a target now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between being successful and how.
I don't think he was targeted. I feel like he was guilty for what he did, for sure. I feel like it was exaggerated, and like they took it and they made sure that they sunk another black man. Yes, I do believe that, but I do believe he did sexually insult at least one woman out of that bunch. At least one.
The time that he's doing now, the time that he's doing now is based on one single allegation. It's an allegation that happened in 2004. I forget the woman's name. We can actually look it up. But this woman is the only one whose she's the only one whose allegation is being taken is actually being effective.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because come on, it can't be. There has to be reason.
Yeah, what is her name actually? Yeah, look it up because I actually do want to find that out because she is and. Exactly what
was his first case?
His first 60, nothing happened on that.
No, what was his first offense?
No, they're saying that he's been doing this for 30 some odd years.
Oh, yeah.
But the only allegation that he's doing time for is that one from 2004. I forget the woman's name.
Okay, so there's a LA Times article that states 50-year chronicle of accusations and accomplishments.
Wow. Raping and winning and raping. All right. That's Bill Cosby.
How do they go hand in hand?
So he won his first Grammy, in 1965.
Right.
And he was like
what do you win a Grammy for? Like,
comedy album. I Spy. It was a drama, and mid-60s he rakes in top dollar in comedy shows, making $5,000 a night. 30,000 a week in Vegas. I guess in 60s.
Spender.
So
wow, in the 60s, 30 large a week, bro.
That's like 130,000 a week now.
Minimum. It's like 200 grand.
Like minimum, yeah.
Minimum, easy.
So in mid 60s. So Sonny Wells alleges at a March 27, 2015 news conference that Cosby raped her twice when she was an aspiring singer in the mid 60s. So it seems like
rape like for real. Rape.
March 27, 2015. That's because heavy. From my recollection, all this like Cosby rape stuff is new. Like they're saying that this went on, but like no one
nobody out of 60 people, like no one, like not one.
Not one
came
out
so
back then.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like but like look, like, 10 girls don't come out. Even then, it's a fucking miracle of science.
Look up something called like a famous sexual assault or accusations in like Hollywood history. Right? How long have women?
Some of the most famous ones. There is people like who's that guy who fled to France? Roman Polanski. Okay. This guy was accused of fucking a 12-year-old, and he's still winning Oscars. He's still getting Oscars. No, like this thing, like there is a certain level of like, but you know what though? Like it's just also you have to understand too. At that time, it was a different ball game, right? Like now we live in an age where women are voting at a much higher rate than men.
And there's nothing wrong with that, like that's amazing.
Yeah, it's great, but let's make sure that this thing is not spiraling out of hand because it's one thing to please, yes, come forward. But let's not judge this in the court of public opinion because there is a lot at stake.
I just don't
People
know.
are losing their lives.
I think don't come out because there's an incentive. Because if it didn't get you that angry at the time and you weren't going to, you just brushed it off as another jerk or another asshole. Because those women, some of them may have had an encounter with Bill Cosby, but they didn't see it harmful enough to them to really go to the police, or it didn't really affect them emotionally or anything.
No. They said that it did. They said that it did. Like, people move on or whatever. Like the woman there, Professor Ford. She's the one accusing Calvin. She's saying that she can't fly now, but then while they're questioning her, she goes on vacation every other month. So it's just like no. I know it sounds like we're insensitive about it. See, to me, what I'm trying to say is
we're just opinionators. We don't know what the fuck.
No, but
I'm just saying, like, as 60 people, I'm saying some of them, and then some of them, it actually took a toll on them for sure. For sure,
none of us know anything that we're talking about when it comes to this. No one here or ever is gonna listen to this knows, other than the people that are in the case.
You know what though?
And like in the government, because we just look at what the media.
Of course. So we're being
us,
told.
you know?
But you know what? See, to me, that's history repeating itself way too fast for my liking. Okay, because 27 years ago there was the whole Clarence Thomas, Anita Hill, debacle. It was the same exact thing. First ever black Supreme Court justice, Supreme Court justice. This guy is being nominated. He's a Republican. Same exact thing. He's going through, he's going through the whole shebang and things, and out of nowhere, boom, comes Anita Hill, right? So Anita Hill is and all these women too. And it seems like there is this pattern where all these women seem to be these very accomplished women, right? None of these niggas are just raping hood rats.
Oh my God.
None of them, none of them are getting any strange. Like all these ladies are coming out, they're all like Harvard graduates and fucking, like, you know what I'm saying? But so Anita Hill comes out and it's the same exact thing, right? Same exact process. Oh, this guy. So the story is Anita Hill used to work for Clarence Thomas. And Clarence Thomas at that time, he was a single man, young guy. She was a young girl, whatever. He's obviously you spend a lot of time around somebody.
You end up
there is some feelings that get developed. So he starts asking her out. Obviously, she's uncomfortable with it.
Whoa.
Right? And then she's saying how he used to make porn recommendations and stuff like that, and talk about how big his dick is. Okay, look, that's just terrible flirting. But see, here's the thing.
No, that's terrible.
It ends up apparently being such a burden for her that she decides to go look for a job somewhere else. But when on the way out, she's like, "Yo, Clarence, can I get a referral, like a reference letter or something?" Like, "Come on, where go?"
She hustles.
This nigga has been making you uncomfortable to the point where you have to go look for another job. But you're going to catch a reference on your way out still just to make sure that...
you know what I mean? It's her right. It is her right.
No, okay. So that makes me question, like, how really affected were you by this? Like, do you even want anything
She was affected up to when it started to fuck with her money.
Until it's no longer useful to you. So then this guy gets nominated. This woman comes out. She gives... this testimony.
She said it's her civic duty. That's why she's like, I had to relocate my family. I had to do all these things to make sure that, like, it's not worth it for me to just come out. But I feel like it was a civic duty to not let someone in this, like, type of mindset become a Supreme Court justice of the United States. And how many are there like 12? Like, they're like the highest ranking judge
No, these are the ones that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're the top dogs. They can overrule anything.
Exactly.
They can make anything illegal. They can make anything like...
If they say niggas can't vote, niggas won't vote tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like,
podcast, they're like, yo, this Kavanaugh good?
You know what I mean? No. Because see, the thing with Kavanaugh, though, is, like, as a judge, like, this guy obviously is super conservative. But see, you seem to notice this whenever there is, like, a conservative nominee that comes out. Rape has now been weaponized. Like, these things just don't happen twice in a row that quickly like that. Where it's just like, and now too, it's a different type of age and time.
So are you trying to say that they're planned?
Well, if you look at it, look, the key is you observe patterns, right? Like, this is what puts the human being at the top of the food chain. It's the ability to be like, 2 + 2 = 4.
The thing is right? Now, like, the reason why, Donald Trump is getting all this craziness is, like, look at the kind of person that everyone that I usually meet as a person in society can all agree that, like, there's something not right.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well,
like,
yeah.
If he was my uncle, let's say.
You'd be like, did you touch me? Did you touch me? Did you touch me? I don't know. I don't know. Uncle Donnie.
Even like when it comes to Kavanaugh, if you watch like the testimonials of her and him, like he was very emotional.
No, but you know why though? You know what he did? He tried to take the Clarence Thomas route. See, Clarence Thomas went up there was like, this is this committee trying to fuck with an uppity black guy. And this is what you guys are doing. You guys are trying to fuck with me because I'm black and da-da-da-da. Obviously, he can pull that card. Yeah. Kavanaugh tried to play the same, like, irritated. No. White people gonna eat you up, my nigga.
Yeah, like, everybody in that was behind him in that row, they were all women. And if you just see their facial expressions, they just look disgusted with him, the way he was talking.
The women
so
behind him? That was his family.
They all look at the pictures.
If all of a sudden, like, tomorrow I gotta call, like, Sean, you're gonna be fucking the owner of Direct Energy. Like you're gonna be an owner of this company. We've nominated you. You know, and whatever it is, and like the next day, some girl's like, "Oh, this guy, he did this to me." I just start laughing. I'd be like, "What?" Like, no.
But see, like, you know, the thing with him too is you have to understand. Like to me, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I think Kavanaugh did it. I think Kavanaugh did it. That instance there as a kid. If you listen to this guy, he's so evasive in the way that he answers questions. Like, he's never saying anything. Like, did you watch the Fox News interview that he did?
Like, the thing is the way I look at it is,
with all the black people interviewing him? Like, the girl, the judge.
The senators. These guys were going
at it.
And
she was a wolf, too. She's running
for president. There's a lot of people just trying to swing dick. They're taking advantage of this to just swing dick. You know what I mean? Like, just to, you know what I mean? Like, look at Cory Booker, okay? Cory Booker just goes out there and just starts this big fucking scene where he's just like, you know what? I'm going to go out there. I'm going to leak the documents if I have to. And I know it's against the rules of the Senate, but do it.
It was so funny.
He wanted to get kicked out because that's one of those.
All the mix-up in politics is just so petty.
But it's so, at the same time, distracting because what's going on really on the side that we're not talking about, which is like how the U.S. government just kind of enhanced the Patriot Act. So since like what happened is that now what the Patriot Act allows is that the like Department of Defense or whatever Homeland Security can now access anyone's bank documents and anything without any kind of like information told to that person or anything.
Right. You need some sort of a warrant to do that.
Yeah, but now it's like it's a Homeland Security.
It's an issue of national security. No, but like this has always happened. That's where it was headed. You know what I mean? Like, we went out there like a bunch of fucking assholes when Facebook came out and we put our whole entire life out there. But, of course, like, this was always the play.
But now we're putting a lot of our banking and stuff in our phones. So we're not, like, back then we weren't doing that online. Now it's saving our passwords. Like, we have our wallet in our phone, Apple Pay.
It's just like the memes, you know? Like, memes are very intelligent in a way, right? The way I look at them. Yeah. And there's that one where it was like in the 1960s. It's like anything that I just said right now that I said into this mic. If I was in 1960s, I'd be like, oh shit, like I better not say that because they're gonna wiretap me. Now it's like, you know, hey, wiretap, what's the recipe for this?
Because you know you be I mean, like,
we just say, hey, wiretap, how do I get to the store?
I watched this show where they monitor people's Google searches. So if you like were searching like gruesome stuff, like how to kill people, they could flag
like
your
if you look for like child pornography like on Google and shit, like they'll be at your door in like 15 minutes.
And like, really?
What are you beating off to, son?
Another topic that's kind of related is like Amazon, right? Jeff Bezos makes like what $250,000 an hour, right?
Of course.
So like
that's
how much money he makes right now.
You know what? I fuck with Amazon. Fuck yeah. Make that money. I fuck with Amazon. They be doing it.
He's an idol. He's a guy. He's like, yo, beat technology. Like he became a billionaire in 1997 though, right?
Damn.
Like you know, like
it's been money.
He's been money. So like everyone's like, oh, he's the richest man, but like the guy's been a billionaire since like before 2000. And that was because of Amazon too. You know, so it all means is like, that's capitalism or whatever. And like now the problem with Amazon that everyone talks shit about is the worker like life. Right, like all the Amazon employees are slaves and all that stuff.
That's horrible.
And like how they
fuck you, get a job somewhere else. Like you know what I mean? Like
they have rights. They're the ones that are making him rich.
So like that's what like a big guy, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a Jeff Bezos like arch enemy.
Fuck Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders, listen, let me tell you something.
I like Bernie. No. He has some.
No. Look, he's a communist. No.
No.
These fucking neo-communists, they're just coming around like fucking. See, listen, let me tell you something. This whole there has to be some external power responsible for my survival is what killed the black society, okay? Like the welfare state is what killed the black society. The fact that like people, because I always tell people, I'm like, the worst thing that's ever happened to the human species is no longer being in the food chain. When there is nothing that is fucking there to be like, yo, get up and go get shit done. then there is really no like all these things that you have inside of you that nature has programmed you to help you survive saber-toothed tigers are now just idle. Anything that's, if you don't use it, you lose it. You know what I mean? Imagine if as a kid your grandma was on welfare, your mama was on welfare, that's all that's all the life that you've known. How the fuck are you supposed to do anything else? But see, to me, I always say that this is all part of a grander scheme.
Well, they do other things like okay, take any hood. Everybody that lives there knows a guy that probably supplies a guy that's running dope and shooting niggas and buying gold chains and making rap.
That guy?
Oh yeah,
I can go as far as
they do.
Plugs. That's about as far as I go. I don't know who. Because at that point we're talking cartel and like.
No. Like not all the way up. Like you know what I mean. Like they know who the weed man is. You know what I mean. Like they know where to get shit. They know where to get soft. Those are the ones that are basically creating a conflict and making themselves something, because that's all they know. They came from nothing. They didn't have anybody to show them education, to show them.
The dope game is a trap. Right?
Yeah.
Anything illegal is a trap. It's not because it's wrong. It's because it's made to catch you because it's so enticing. Yeah. Because there's a demand. So when it comes to what life is all about, it's about sales, right? People have to buy. No matter what.
Well, a product has to
no matter what. It doesn't matter how it gets sold.
Attract them emotionally.
Right? So when there's something that you can make money off of to where you don't even have to try to sell it. You know, to where it's like
there's a liquor store on every
like
street.
Water. Right. Even water, you have to kind of try to sell it. You know.
Well, no, like no matter what, if you live in this world, you pay for water, right? You have a water bill when you live at your house. Right. You like even if you have to pay rent or whatever it is, that water is built into it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's a necessity. But at the same time, companies like Nestle can buy it for $1 for 100 million liters of water and then sell it back to us. You know, like.
But that's the flex. Like, look, see, to me, this is what I always say. Is it because of racism that some guy figured out?
No, that's the flex.
You know what I mean?
Like there has to be some kind of like moral boundary to where it can kind of like we have to be able to look at the bigger picture other than money. When it comes down to it, like even though money is the end, like okay, like Jeff Bezos, great, but I feel like if I was making $250 million a day, most of my people that were working in my warehouses didn't have to get off welfare. You know, I would make it.
No, but like how bad are these conditions of these Amazon workers? Like, what are we talking? Are we talking about like Nike factories? Like, what are we talking?
Yeah, like you're making it seem like
it's 12 hours a day. They like walk like 30 kilometers a day.
Where are these factories? Where are they? Like, where are they?
Any like even right next to my office in Saga right here. There's like. There's an Amazon fulfillment factory.
Yeah, so you're telling me that these motherfuckers here in Mississauga are walking 30 kilometers a day? Like you're like got YRT money? Like how? What are you spending your money on?
This is in Canada.
Like, listen, minimum wage.
It's more in the States because that's where Amazon really.
And they're making $12 a day.
Okay. Even if though, like, are you gonna tell me that these people like?
No, they're making minimum wage.
Okay.
Oh, so $12 an hour.
That's the beauty of technology, right? Because like the whole reason that exists, and Bernie Sanders is making this a huge issue that like his all the Amazon and Walmart workers like are ruining. The country because it's not their fault, but like it's the companies not paying their workers a living wage.
How are the Walmart like? Okay, like are we talking about this whole like universal income thing that these people like these?
No. It's just these two major huge companies that make most of the money, right?
But see, to me, look. If a man. Because how do you get rich?
I agree.
You found a problem. You found a problem. If the problem is big enough and you solve it at a mass scale, you get to eat. Exactly. That's the flex.
And that's what I do.
I'm sorry you didn't figure out the problem. Right? You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry you didn't figure out the problem. Now, we live in a country, at least here, where there is a minimum wage that people have to earn. If that's what you're dealing with, learn to live within those means. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I just have a hard time understanding how is it. Because, see, like, why are we punishing?
So mean.
No, it's not being mean. Like, look,
you made it sound like they're getting
a billionaire. Yeah.
Do
I blame Jeff Bezos that I'm not?
Just first agree that not everyone has the mindset like we do. That's gonna go out and do where the fuck and never take that shift they wanted us to. You know, like like we're not gonna take that. It's not our mindset. But there's a lot of people that can't do what we do, or like even go out and do what like other people can do, and they're just gonna like be immigrants or whatever. But who is the one?
You're just gonna be immigrants? Wow, these guys are terrible guys. Like, listen, man, you know these immigrants, they just come in here. They're lazy folk.
Like,
Immigrants are the hardest working
that is
people.
true.
My
That is true.
dad, my parents were
We
immigrants,
all immigrants.
And like most of my family were immigrants. But when it came
Some of
down
us.
to it, you know, I look at it and I'm like, you know, it just like they're the hardest working people. They don't have the same ability that I do. So they,
but is it abilities though? See, my dad came to when we left back home. Okay, like I came from this family that was unbelievably wealthy. We end up losing everything.
Yeah.
Right. We end up losing everything. Right. And so now we come here, and I go from watching my dad being this big shot lawyer to driving a fucking taxi cab, right? Like all immigrants that fucking show up here do, right? But instead of like, you know, doing that shit for 25, 30 years, he was like, you know what? Fuck that shit. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to go back to school, and I'm going to be sitting in a class surrounded by 20-year-old kids who speak the language better than I do, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try to make some shit happen. You know what I mean? Nice. So, like, now imagine what he has to deal with in that aspect where not only it's a language that he does not primarily function in, but he's also surrounded by kids who are younger than his kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Epitome of the type of mindset you need to have to be successful and happy in this world, almost.
Like, yeah, no.
You have to make the happiness.
Like, you know what? Like, see,
every
we were on that
challenge, but it's gonna bring you a lot of success.
No, but like we were on that. Like, you know, when we first came in, yes, of course, you know, they gave you that government housing because you're a refugee. We didn't have any of the money from back home that we're bringing, so we're just starting from the ground zero. You know what I mean? So this guy goes like, not only, you know, he fucking gets into law school, graduates, gets his fucking, and he just made shit happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
so like,
so to me, to tell me that, but see, I also understand, and that's why I say that the welfare state is a problem, because these people who are now moving out of there because of that lack of mentality is the fact that they grew up with people who didn't have that mentality either.
Hold on for one second. Hold on. Wait,
they're not so smart.
Hold on for 1 second. It's that same welfare. It's maybe not have been Ontario Works government housing, but that's still welfare that got you and your family set up here. It's not designed for a career. Canada wanted this country to be multicultural and invite other countries. You know what I mean? So they have aid. It's to really get you started off. Or if you're a single mother, it's for you to get like eventually feed your family and then eventually have a career.
I'm not against having social programs that help people get on their feet in order to be able to assimilate. I'm all for that. But see, the problem is when it becomes a thing like the welfare state in the States, like you were saying, it's a question of mentality, right? But how is mentality developed? For me, I'm a hustler like by nature because I grew up with a hustler who grew up with a hustler. And that shit was passed on. See, when you live in the welfare state and your grandmother was on welfare, and, you know, what are you going to teach your kids? Why is it that immigrant parents cannot teach you how to save money? Because if you're not making money, how are you going to teach your kid how to be able to, you know what I mean?
You just made a lot of sense, because when it comes down to it, it's what I try to tell anyone who comes to become a salesperson for my company or whatever I do. You know, I'm telling them like, hey, you know what? You might be in the same position as I was not too long ago. I needed to make money. I did nothing, you know, but boom, I found an opportunity and I went and made it.
Right.
You know, I did what I had to do and I made some good money.
Right.
And I still am doing better than a lot of people that had other opportunities in their whole life.
Right.
But don't be the victim, you know, when it comes
No, but see, how do you, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. But see, Shawn, like, knowing you personally, I can trace back to how this happened, right? You have your experience, for example, in the U.S. Marine. That gave you a certain set of training and a certain way to conduct yourself that when you came here, that discipline was already ingrained in you to a certain extent. And then that helped you, you know, being able to, you know, be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to settle for this because I'm trained to make best of what is going on. But see, when we talk about people like Bernie Sanders who want to create this massive, this massive, well, it does not help anyone. All it does, it makes people more complacent because there is always Big Brother looking out for you. You will never starve. You will never be homeless. You need that. You need that.
Well,
you need that pressure
I see homeless people. I see homeless people on the street and I'm like, how did they really get there, you know? And I don't see myself as better than them or them better than me. Like, we're all people. We're all capable of doing the same things in different circumstances, you know what I mean? But, like, how is that person homeless? It can happen to you.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
no,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to be homeless, but look at me personally. I look at people that are homeless and I'm like, that could be me too. Right, that just means you gave up. That just means that you might, something could have happened to you, and now like you're an addict, and all you care about is getting high.
Exactly.
You know, but like next year I could see you, and you could have just gone to recovery, and you're out, and I never knew you were homeless.
So then
it's a mindset.
It's a temporary thing, hopefully.
I think it's just circumstances now at that point.
Person, here you go, bro. Like, make sure you get out of this, because I know this is not who you always used to be.
Right.
Because that's what I would do if I was homeless.
Right.
If I got to the point where I'm homeless, I'm walking the street and I got like a cat in my hand, I'm just kind of like, you know.
You and Penny just.
Yo, you got coffee, bro?
Yeah.
I used to sell shit, you know.
Yeah. Tough gig.
You got any of those?
You got any of those?
Have I ever? No. Maybe I'll get to that point. Maybe I'll make too much money. I'll get to that point.
No, but see, I think it's all a question. I think it's all a question of circumstances that builds you to be able to be like, okay, you know what? Where do I cut the line? Right? It's like you talked about like addiction. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I always talk about like, you know, for example, like addiction to cocaine, right? See, to me, I feel like getting addicted to coke is not understanding how it works. Because if you understand exactly how it works, you know that if you do a line of blow, your endorphin receptors are going to fucking go wild, right? And then the next morning, because you overworked them, you're going to feel like shit,
depressed.
Right? So then what most people want to do is like, oh, you know what? Let me do more blow to feel happy again. Right? Mm-hmm. But you don't understand that the more you do that, the less and less and less it works.
It's
the
a
more
high,
of it you do.
and then you go low.
Right. But see, when you understand that you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I feel like a little whatever. Okay, let me just take a shower, jerk off, go to sleep. You know what I mean? Like that's just it. That's just it. But see, that's how you don't get.
Escape
you don't
the
get.
day.
Yeah. But see, when you call something a disease, right? When you're like addiction is a disease.
It's a mental health.
Now you're taking away the power from somebody to help themselves.
Right.
Because
you're saying, it's okay, it's not your fault.
It's only a doctor, only a medical professional. You're sick. It's not you.
Well, after a while,
okay. Medical, because even the best doctors in the world call the medical system.
Okay, this is how bad it can get, because my friend told me a story of her friend that died off of a heroin addiction. So she got so bad where like her doctor told her that she can't touch it for like 60 days, and she couldn't eat. She locked herself in her room. She couldn't walk. She was throwing up every day.
Oh yeah,
and that was every day. Yeah, that was every day. So at that point, it's like you kind of do need to see a doctor or professional, because they have to prescribe you then like a certain amount of opium so that you can actually
to get to that point, right? To get to that point, because
you're still an addict.
Nobody like, if you do heroin for the first time tonight and you don't ever do it again, you're not gonna go to sleep tomorrow and be breaking in fucking sweat.
Well, no, there's personality types. So some people have addictive personalities, and that's why like how many people you think in the world have tried heroin and how many became heroin addicts? You know, so like there's like there's always gonna be an addict in most things, and sugar, and that's why like the number one thing they should be worrying about other than handguns and drugs is sugar. Like, why is that not the number one, like, talked about?
Handguns, like, drugs, and sugar.
Like, sugar.
Because nobody's snorting the sugar. Are you snorting sugar?
There's like 20 times, like, I don't know. I think there's like over, 200. I don't know what the percentage is, but the amount of kids or people that die from like health issues rather than guns is astronomical.
Really?
Like because sugar, without that, like there would be so many people that'd be alive right now. And
it's the same way that you think about like how is alcohol legal and weed isn't. Like it's just
that's changing.
That's changing. But like when you think about it though, when you think about
17 days away.
No, I know. Oh yeah, I'm actually booked for a show on legalization day at this fucking big like marijuana event.
Oh, what?
Yeah. You should come. It's on the 17th. It's a comedy show that I'm
I'll definitely be there. But what I was gonna say is when it comes down to it, on the 17th, anywhere you can smoke a cigarette, you can smoke marijuana in Ontario.
But we've been already doing that. Like how I started smoking in the street. Like
not
like 2
really,
years
though.
Well,
you know what? Not really. But there's still gonna be the thing is what
it's
I'm
like a
laugh
shame
about,
factor, like a shame factor, like when.
No, it's just that like the cool thing about going smoke weed with your coworkers or like whoever was just like the sneak of it.
Yeah, the sneak of it. Yeah.
Well, I know.
Like honestly, like to me,
Now
like
it's
yo.
like, yo, you guys are just like, now it's like if I pop the beer in the middle of work, people go,
Yeah, like, why are you
drinking?
doing that? Like,
So
it's
if I
legal.
Like, go outside and smoke weed, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, you're a fucking pothead.
Yeah.
Now an alcoholic and a pothead is the
No,
same
but you know what though?
thing.
I like what you say there. That's why I don't think like dispensaries are gonna work for me. I feel like there is a certain intimacy that is within, you know, your drug dealer's Honda Accord when he's not handing you the baggie. He just puts it. You know what I mean? Like he just puts it
Drug
in
dealers
the.
don't drive Honda Accord.
No. We're talking
Some
about
of them
those
do.
hand-to-hand
Or
little niggas.
Acuras.
Those little hand-to-hand niggas. Those little hand-to-hand niggas. Like you have to understand, most of these niggas dealing drugs. Most of these niggas dealing drugs are making minimum wage. Yeah. Like don't get
Oh,
get
yeah,
into it.
they're
They're
dumb.
not really making money like that.
There's a few that I, like, you know, that I ran into in my life that were like doing well, but
Yeah, but they're
they
not
were looking
doing
for
hand to
jobs.
hand.
They came to me because they're like, I want to make the same money without being illegal.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You know, and that's how I met these guys.
Exactly.
You know,
But there is the intimacy of your dealer's, like, you know, if your dealer's card, you know, where, you know, you don't hand him the money, you just put it in the cup holder, and he puts the bag in the cup holder, and you're just like, hey, all right, buddy.
I saw a movie.
No. It's true though. Like, no, think about it. You never done that. Like, your
It makes
dealer
you
hands
feel
you your shit
mysterious.
You know what? It was funny because I just left the client's house. You know, I like helped her out with her attic insulation, and
Look at this guy. Like, yo, shout out to the attic gang. Shout out to the attic gang.
and she's like, hey, I'm leaving the country for a bit. Can you come to my house next Thursday just to make sure it's okay? And then she's like, I got a little bag for you. And then she handed me a white bag, and there's like $100 bill inside. And
Nice.
she's like, put that in your pocket. But she was all low key. She's like, don't talk to the neighbors when you come around.
What?
What's going on right now?
Yeah, exactly. Like, what is going on? Is I don't know. I'll be a little concerned
But you know
about
what?
that.
I was like, you know what? I'll take another $100
How
commission on that.
well do you know this lady? First of all,
I met her one time. You know, I went to her house.
I don't know. Dog, it sounds like y'all got friendly because
No,
this bitch is out here asking you to like.
But you know, when I go to the, like, when I walk into the house, no matter what client it is, I instantly, when I'm on my phone, I'm changing my background on my image of my background on my phone
to what?
to whatever is most attractive to the client.
Wow. Wow.
That's how
yo,
it
you know
goes.
what though? I used to have like pictures of my nephew.
So
when I
like,
was
you know, I
walk.
walk into a cat lady, I'm like, yo, let me just change my background on my phone to my
Bam.
cat.
Bam.
I'd be like, oh, there's my logo. Oh my god.
My God.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That is
like-
called that is called mirroring your client, people. For those of you who are listening, this thing just went from Bill Cosby to like now we sound like we're the rapists. You're like, yeah, when we walk into their houses, we change the backgrounds to
I know.
something that they're gonna like. Oh yeah, call me Mr. Superfly.
It's called situational awareness.
Situational awareness. That is the most Cosby shit ever said on this podcast today. Today. You know what I mean? Like situational awareness, brother. I always know when the resistance is at a prime or not.
You know what? But like when it comes down to it, that stuff is so above like my relativeness in my life. You know, like it is very relative because now, like I told you, I'm of a DocuSign.
What?
Right? Because I see big things in my future, right? So
Yeah. No,
I
bro,
think you're
listen,
gonna have way more
we don't even
legal
have to go
stuff.
that far. Like you guys both know my story. Like you guys both know what happened to me.
Exactly.
Like you know what I mean? Like you
And
guys
you're a
both
prime
know
example. I'm like,
what
okay.
happened to me, and I ain't shit yet.
No,
So imagine if, like, you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
saying, but like you were smart enough, and you know what? At the same time, like the evidence was not. there.
yeah, exactly. But I knew that from the beginning. But the bullshit that I had to go through,
Like
articles in newspapers and shit like that. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Oh my
Like,
God.
dude, like this was
Very
not
true.
like you have to understand. Like, my name was ungoogleable. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? It was ungoogleable, and you know, like I've been in the consulting business. Like, you know, people will look into your shit. Like, people look at I have a
Oh,
certain
yeah.
presence on
Clients look me
YouTube
up all the time.
You look at my shit on YouTube. Now, boom! All of a sudden, it's like it's right there.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like I had to deal with that. Okay, yes, I've been cleared, but like, hey, look, as soon as it's out there in the ether, nobody gives a fuck. Like, look at that kid. What was that movie with the slave rebellion there? What's his name? Fuck. This came out of TIFF like 2 years ago.
Was it Black Panther?
No. It wasn't the Black Panther. No, it was what's his name? This kid. Fuck. This is gonna drive me nuts. No. Nobody knows.
Black Panther.
Yeah, I know. What is wrong with you? You're a sick person. You're a racist. You're a racist motherfucker. What's it, Black Panther? Are we talking about the black?
You didn't even take it in, though.
No, this was the Nat Turner movie, the Nat Turner Rebellion movie. It's called no, Nat Turner, man. No, it's called Birth of a Nation.
Oh yeah.
Great fucking film.
Quality, yeah.
Great fucking film. I saw that at TIFF when it came out. The kid who wrote it, do you know what's his name? Can you look that up for me? Actually, Pat. Let's see, what the fuck is his name?
What's the movie about?
So it's about Nat Turner and the rebellions. The first slave, some of the first slaves to ever really rebel and start killing a bunch of white people and shit.
Oh,
Like,
whoa.
yeah. This Birth of a Nation, like, it's a crazy fucking movie.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, it was
We
a
should
great.
watch that later.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, you're like, yeah, I wanna get in the mood. God damn it. No. What was the kid's name? Let's try to find out here.
Has he been in other movies?
Yeah, he's been in other movies. No. That wasn't him. Bertha. No, he was one of the. What was his name? Hold on. Let me look this up here. Birth of a Nation, Nat Turner. Yeah, 2016 film. Yes, let me see.
So.
Oh, Nate Parker. That was the kid's name, Nate Parker. This guy over here. This dude.
Oh,
This
never
dude.
heard of him.
He wrote the movie, right? He wrote it. He directed it. He looked for funding for the movie. He worked his ass off to get
That's
this movie
amazing.
off. This movie was gonna be fucking huge. The movie came out fucking great.
Right.
And tell me how there was a sexual allegation that had happened when he was in college, where he got found innocent in court. He got cleared by DNA or something along those lines. But this shit popped back out of the woodworks when the movie came out. And it just tanked it. The movie tanked. Barely made any money or anything with the story.
Yeah, but you notice that it's when people are in like their triumph or their most important part of their careers.
No, but like that is insane. Like, this man actually got found innocent. And there was articles coming out
but like when it comes to like accusations, they might as well just end your career right there.
Yeah.
At the same time, a lot like it's kind of like what confuses all of us. I feel, which is like, anyone could say anything about me if I ever come up. It's almost seeming like the powers that are to be or in control or whatever it is,
right.
When they come down to it, they're like, hey, you want to try to make it? Even if you do, we're going to ruin you. No one's happy.
No, I don't. It's
wow.
It's like this shit has been weaponized. Because, see, to me, I feel like there were some people.
One day.
I feel like there were some people who maybe did not want that movie to come out or have it do well or anything of the sort. And they just bring that shit up. All you have to do is put it on a couple blogs and get shit up and running. Because, like, now at this point, like, think about it. Now, this Megan shit may haunt me for fucking ever. Like, this guy got cleared up. This guy got cleared.
Oh, no,
like, the court found him
like, when it
not
comes
guilty.
Down to it, when it comes down to it, there's going to be some kind of retribution to this. Mm-hmm. And the way I look at it is that you're saying that now, but like when it comes down to it, the retribution will happen. Whatever. No. You
know what the retribution?
If it was me, right?
You know what
if it was me, right? And I was unfortunately had to go through the shit that you had to go through for the situation. Like, I can be despicable too, but when it comes to be morally despicable is amazing.
Right.
When you have the opportunity now to not only like say, hey, look, just to like kind of even the playing grounds right now, this happened, and now you're a figure for someone who's like, on the other side, right? Like, not to say that like I'm a masochist or anything like that, but when it comes down to it, it's like the only like fear that every guy like me that wants to make a DocuSign for a consent form, so if I ever make it in life,
right.
Like I didn't get like come up with some shit,
right.
and I lose my wife and my kids or whatever happens in my family because these accusations just happen because I'm about to blow up.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know,
it's fucked up.
But like, it's
Well,
sad.
it's not even about blowing up because my dad, I remember what I was trying to say last time to you, Robert. Basically, me and my dad, we were sleeping and then we woke up by banging on the door. My dad's crazy ex-girlfriend. I don't even know if he even made her girlfriend, but I know that he was fucking her. And she was just psycho. Like, she was banging on the door, on the window. She kicked in the window.
Wow.
She ripped up her clothes to make it look like my dad had hit her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then she started crying and she called the police and it was a big thing. And my dad actually got locked up. I was like,
Oh, yeah, they arrested you right away. Yeah.
I was like 4 years old or 6 years old, and it was so embarrassing. And like the people upstairs are Portuguese, and they took me in, but like we were already very close. They were very nice people.
Right.
But then, yeah, it was like it was really sad seeing my dad get like fucking locked
imagine what
up
that does
and
to you as
shit.
a
Like,
child, right?
and I
Like,
know
it's
that
just-
he didn't hit her, but I can't do anything, you know.
No, see, to me, like, the thing
I'm
is...
so
is
sorry
like,
to hear that. You know what? Like, but I'm thankful you told me because it just made me trigger like some shit that had happened in my life. You know, it was just kind of like,
Right?
oh damn, man, I've been through some shit too.
Yeah.
You know, and like when it comes down to it, it's like, but
so hashtag you too, Sean?
I
you too?
you know,
Need to be more sensitive to people.
no, but like, you know what?
We're all trying to share our.
I'm not
views.
sensitive. I don't need the sensitivity. You know?
No,
Like,
hold on. Let's see, look,
Sensodyne me.
again, no. That's Sensodyne. This guy started to rap. See, no, but see, here's the thing. Okay, look, I am, like I said, right? There is a difference between being sensitive to something and seeing the future backlash that is going to happen, because nothing lasts forever, okay? Eventually there's going to come a point where people now are going to be like, okay, enough.
Lava lasts
enough.
forever though. Lava is hot, you know? Like,
Okay, yo, listen, this guy's not a serious guy.
Ice Age though.
You know what I mean? Well, like,
The
no.
core is still lava though.
The core is still lava. No, but like this is not lava though. Like eventually, like there's gonna come a point where there's gonna be a pendulum swing where people are gonna be like, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. Like, and then the people now who are really going through this shit, now suddenly when they start coming forward at the end of the swing of that pendulum, and it's starting to happen. That's why you have Donald Trump as fucking president of the United States. It's people are fucking tired of like, oh, you know, if I say something that you don't agree with, I'm racist or I am transphobic or I'm this. And now this shit is like coming like with penalties where people are losing their jobs,
But
losing their livelihoods.
imagine
So-
if there was a video recording or pictures taken of the things that we say in traffic, for example, or like what we say about other people, you know?
I said terrible thing about Asians and women in traffic, but I'm
sure
still in a
everyone
great
watches
relationship with
Netflix,
one.
right?
And
like Black Mirror is just like another example of that. When the movie industry started, it's just preparing us for the future. It doesn't mean that like it's actually
It's true.
It's entertainment because it's what's true and it's gonna be. You know, so like we watch Black Mirror, Apple's already started giving people the trust value. You know, that system to where it's like based on your whole iPhone experience, we're going to give you a value
know.
of like how
That's
good of
why-
a person you might be. You know, and like that's where like the access to information that we all had. Imagine if like
You
in
know what's
1901,
so- oh
you
my
could just
God.
Google anything and you would be a billionaire because you'd be the only guy who could figure it all out. But now we're like, everyone already knows it because I do. Because if I need to
but
know, I'll figure it
though,
out.
That's why Kanye West, he was starting to speak on the fact that people place value or judgment on people or even judgment on themselves based on the amount of followers that they have on social media. And I feel like that is so true. You know, it does affect people's confidence and like, you know, how they
It's
think
fake
of
lives,
the...
But
because we
before
don't see
social
any
media,
negative on
social media, it used to be, you know, there's other things. You can say that about money. You can say that about property. You can say that about anything. It's the same thing that is
No.
happening. It's just on a different
This is
spectrum.
different.
No, because
No, it's-
humans all think the same. Even
Yeah.
since the beginning, we've all thought the same way about everything. Now it's just different, like avenues to like look at people
Yeah,
the
like-
same
like-
way.
like,
you
look-
know, so it's like, oh,
This is based on popularity.
No, popularity.
A lot of
But
people...
popularity is all depending on what people feel like you bring forward.
And
If people
what you
feel
do
like,
with
okay,
it.
you are enhancing by you and your posts, you are somehow enhancing my social media experience, then you'll get a follow. It was the same thing as like when we were, when we first started walking the face of this earth. As a man, in order to be quote unquote the man, you had to have multiple wives, meaning that you could care for multiple women, which made you.
You were the most protective.
Exactly, you're the most protective. You're the most able to nourish and so on and so forth and all these other things. But see now that shit fucking carries on. Well, man, somehow when people are like, yeah, it's genetic, like nature has conditioned men to want to have that because that is how it ensures that.
And when
but how does that do?
Right, when the dollar came out,
What does that have to do with the social media?
No, it's the same exact thing though. The more followers you have, the more of the man that you are. Back then, the more women you had, the more of the man that you are.
I understand that. We understand that. But it's not just because man; it's also women as well. It's not just man that is originated from. Women have come a long time as well, and they've found their independence. And a lot of us are billionaires right now. Well, yeah. Okay, so it's not just men that have had to find their own evolution and survival. Women as well. We bear children on this planet, we have our own evolution of survival as well, and a lot of the times it's being domestic and holding down the fort, and you guys go out there and hunt, and I understand what you're trying to say, but in this generation there is gender does not equate to a certain set of requirements or responsibilities. People are finding the power to fucking go beyond that shit and do other things, do what they feel. If they wake up on a Monday and they feel gay, they're milking that shit. If they wake up on Thursday, if they wake up on Thursday,
this is a family show.
No, if they wake up on Thursday and they did a line of coke, maybe they're about to do that shit all long weekend. You understand? People are exploring shit and they're saying, fuck it. YOLO. You only live once. You understand? So just because you're a man doesn't mean that, this is what you believe this, and you're going through this evolution of, going out there having different wives. No, there's fucking men out there that want to dress up as women in the daytime, and they want to be a lawyer and go about their life, and they want to, honestly, it's different lifestyles because this world is multi-dimensional now. Everybody is thinking on different wavelengths now.
And like I said, it's the same game, different board, right? See, this man deciding to dress as a woman in a way is because that is how he feels like. In certain circles, he may feel like this is how I'm valued. This is how I feel like I matter at the end of the day, right? So
nobody, not in this society. Nobody goes out there dressed like a woman and says, "No, I'm going to be valued in this society."
Are you fucking kidding me?
No way.
They have entire parades.
Now, but not every day 24/7 is a fucking parade. I'm not listening. No, first of all, listen for 1 second. I'm trying to share a personal experience because
what are you trying to say?
I am not even fully gay. Okay, I told my mom that I've had sex with girls. And she's like, Shanairah, don't do that. You can't do that. And she's really getting on me like I'm a sodomite, like I'm gonna go to hell, like the way she's talking up. Yeah, her vibe, she was really.
That's not her fault.
It's old school, exactly. So imagine. No, we weren't using strap-ons.
Okay, then y'all ain't gay.
Okay. Well, anyways. First of all, so not every day when you're going to fucking a job interview, or you're walking, to the clinic, or you're going grocery shopping, or you're on Oakwood and Eglinton. Are you fucking experiencing a pride parade in June? No. Sometimes there's a lot of times there's a lot of discrimination. So nobody's going to go out there, dress like a woman, be gay, and be like, I'm going to be valued more. No, they're going to take on the fact that they're going to be looked down upon.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And they have to do it because it's truly the person they are.
But hey,
like
you
they
know,
believe that
I
shit.
understand
So-
what you're
so
saying.
I
I
got-
agree, but one thing I'll say is that maybe that's what they want. Whatever that like comes to the
Yeah,
visual
exactly.
from the
Of course.
Yeah,
experience.
there has to be.
Yeah,
There has
all
to be.
that.
There is something.
Like the attention, I feel is more
No.
than anything. Like
No, there is something that they're getting.
Like,
There is something that being got. Like to me, like look, let's.
if it's their like.
Not because when you say attention, you're suggesting that every gay person is flamboyant and talks like this, and no, like
No,
a
okay,
lot of
but-
gay men are very masculine, more masculine than a lot of straight men, and they'll kick your ass.
Oh,
No,
You know what I'm saying?
hold on. What are we talking about here? Are we
Men will
talking?
kick,
Because are we
men's
talking
ass.
about? Because
Yeah, like women will kick men's ass
he
too
no
at the
because
same
he
time.
okay hold on because he like gay homosexuality is a sexual choice. Are we talking about like a lifestyle choice? Or are we talking about like people full on cross dressing and you know what I mean like totally wearing something that is, let's say, for example, not known to be within their gender
What
spectrum.
I was talking about is seeing like that 49-year-old or maybe 58-year-old dude who like is just wearing a dress and high heels, and like didn't put on any wig. He's not like a queen style,
Right.
like because when I moved to Canada, I started going looking for jobs. And
I don't know where this is going.
The first place I put my
I have to do what I have to do.
was the Irish. There was the Irish pub downtown. Like my cousin was like, "Hey, my buddy owns this club." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." I went there. He wasn't there. His mom was there. She was like, "Nah, he ain't here." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I went across the street. I see Irish pub, and some blonde girl comes. She's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good." She's like, "I'm looking to like apply here. It's an Irish pub." Okay, cool. Let's do it. This girl came down. She interviewed me. She's like, "Can you start tomorrow?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, cool. I got a job." And like the first couple days were good. There's all these cute girls. They're all like liking me. All the other dudes were just kind of like not even around. I was just like, well, all right. But then like the next day, I got my ass slapped real hard, and I was just like, "Oh." I turned around.
Go on.
And it was a girl, but I was like, "You're not a girl."
I see a dick. I'm sensing a dick.
He
There
slapped
is a dick
you?
somewhere.
Why?
And then I'm walking down the street like to work. I park my car or whatever. I walk down the street, but I see like bondage and shit in the stores. Like, it's like a leather store with like chains.
Did you not look at the neighborhood like when you're driving down? Didn't you look around like all of a sudden you're working in Sodom and Gomorrah?
I went from LA. I went from LA
that.
to Canada, and this is the first week I'm in Canada.
LA is pretty liberal though. No, it wasn't to that
I
point.
was in the military, like so
Don't show, don't tell.
It was
Don't
don't
ask,
ask,
don't tell.
don't tell
Don't
that
ask,
back
don't
then.
tell.
That was
So
before
what?
my mom
So what
had
did they
sex.
do in the military? Like, what is that trying? What are you
Suck
trying
a
to say?
dick in
lot-
silence.
No, it was
Don't
just
tell
like,
nobody.
I was in the barracks. I was in
So there was
military.
a lot of guys that were gay there.
No, there was like a couple. There was a couple. But like, I caught them because they were my buddies of mine. And like, I'm like, yo, I'm going to take this guy's PS3 game. I'm like, PS3 back then, So I was just like, well, I'm going to grab, and I'm looking, and it's just like, I pull up a game, but it's like.
It's like a gay porn.
It's like a gay porn. And I'm like, yo, Lee,
Yo,
what the fuck?
yo, who got no? But
I'm
like,
like, who's your roommate, bro?
Oh.
And then they're like, oh shit, he's the Wiccan guy, and I'm like,
oh shit.
What?
and he's the one who's always asking me about Santa Monica. I'm like, I have no idea.
Like, I know there was a pier. No,
in East LA or some shit like that, or like West LA, some shit like that.
Yeah.
But anyways, when it came down to it, it's not even about that. I just moved to Canada. I'm living with my aunt. I hadn't really drove around. I met a couple girls randomly the next day. I moved to Canada, and like I was just chilling with them in Scarborough. So like.
Yeah. No, finish your point. Yeah.
When it comes down to it, like I came down, I got that job, but whatever. Like I have no.
So what happened though? Like, did you end up like having to like call HR and be like, yo, listen,
No. Like,
I got my ass slapped.
Like it didn't happen.
No. You know what? Sean is waiting until this guy is running
I
for.
had my guard up ever since then.
No. Sean is waiting until this guy is running for prime minister to just come out of the woodworks.
You
He slapped my ass.
Oh my god!
Where's your donkey?
Where's that darker side?
But how did
Was it Day-Day's kids? It was some ghetto show.
Day-Day's kids?
Okay, we're back on and we are live. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to do some editing there. We had to take a little break.
Oh, we got nothing, man. We edit everything.
Listen, all right, guys. So we are back. So when we left off, Sean was telling a story about how one day our first transgender prime minister will be encountering some charges from Shawn directly after he was slapped upon the arse without his consent. Now, in the break, obviously a conversation ensued. And in said conversation, we started asking Shawn if he did his research because we came to find out that Shawn, at that pub, the Irish pub that he was working at, was in the neighborhood of Toronto. For some of you who are familiar with the big 416, it's a neighborhood called Church and Wellesley. Church and Wellesley is known to be extremely progressive in the way that they do things.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a gay neighborhood. Obviously, that's what we're trying to say. And that being said, now Shawn, so continue on. So you get slapped on the ass. You turn around.
Yeah,
and
I'm like, all right, like that wasn't a dude.
That wasn't
like, yo, this could that wasn't a woman, right?
Right.
It was 3 women actually, but like naturally not.
So you
right?
got slapped on the ass by the one that you didn't want to.
Neither one would have made the
my
ass slapping
God.
sufficient, you know.
Sufficient.
But when it comes down to it, you know, I was like, okay, what's up with all the dudes in Toronto or Canada, you know? Because I moved to Canada based on Vancouver. And, like, I walked into the mall and got 16 numbers in 2 hours. So, like...
So wait.
that
So
was
let's make sure that I
It's not
understand.
Toronto.
Let me just make sure that I understand what you're trying to insinuate here. Are you trying to insinuate here that Toronto was and as someone who just moved from LA, Toronto was what, too gay for your liking? Like,
Not
what
Toronto, just that area.
That area. Like, you know, I'm a new person to this facility.
No, but
It's called Canada.
But see, it's like anything though. Like
Yo, who has smartphones in this age?
you know what I mean?
Don't you have that iRadical these days?
iRadical? What is the iRadical? Is that what you call your
It's a
Motorola
reticle,
crazy?
Reticle.
What's a reticle?
A reticle is an eyesight, like it's an eyepiece, right? So RETC.
I ain't putting a damn thing in my eye. Listen, let me tell you something. Like, yeah, like I think I have myopia in one eye, and I won't even wear a damn contact. So,
All right,
you know what I mean? I am putting a damn.
Yes. Earlier, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I moved to Canada a week later. You know, I started looking for jobs. The first day, I got a job, Irish pub. Cool. Couple days in, I'm like, all right, because I'm literally walking in the parking lot in my car, driving back to my aunt's house,
Right.
and chilling with these girls in Scarborough. Like, you know,
Right.
like that's kind of what happened. And the reason why I knew I was destined to live in Canada is because when I was driving through the border, I could just see fireworks going off constantly, and I'm like, yeah.
So it was not the free health care.
No, it was like, hey, thank you for moving to Canada. You are a blessing to the society, you know, and
Yeah.
when it comes down to it,
Now I know why you like. Now I know why you like Bernie Sanders. This is like, see, listen, like we are a socialist country. It goes without saying. But see now though, Canada. But see, this is the thing though. Canada is going through the
it was
same.
Victoria Day, by the way. It was Victoria Day. The day I
No, hold on. Canada is. Canada is.
To be exact.
Canada.
I don't know, like blow up steam, you know.
Canada is going through the same transition that people saw in the States, where on one side you have, you know, the PC police, right? I can hear you chew on the mic. Let's try to be professionals here, people. Yeah, so we have the PC police, the politically correct police, that has certain expectations about certain things. And then on one side, you just have these people who feel like their grievances do matter, but some way, somehow, they're not being addressed because the moment you bring them up, you either backward thinking, or you're racist, or you're this or you're that. I'll give you an example, right? The Ontario sex ed curriculum, right?
Okay.
The Liberals last year decided to change it in order to include things like, you know, masturbation, homosexuality,
The wind thing.
Yeah, so different things like that were not in the original, the latest curriculum. The last update that they had was in 1998, right?
Last generation.
Exactly. That was that birds and bees shit. I don't even know why birds and bees. Are birds and bees even fucking?
I think
So the point that I'm trying to get at though is like now you have these two sides of the spectrum where you have, you know, this coalition made of, these what I like to call new age parents and their children who are like, no, we want, a modernized sex ed curriculum, which I totally get. And on the other side, you have these people who are a little bit more conservative about their practice, and what they're saying is this: I want to be the one talking to my kids about this. If my child is going to learn about homosexuality, I want to be the one who teaches him. I don't want him to. And of course, it's an absolutely asinine request, because your kid is raised, whether you like it or not, your kid is raised by two people, you and the environment that he lives in. So your kid will learn about homosexuality, or who he or she, right? Oh, he or she or Z or B, or Z, all those other niggas.
No mean to interrupt, but when it comes down to Ontario sex ed, I'm not finding anything that's stating that this is being reversed.
No. The actual Ontario. Look it up.
August 23rd, 2018. The differences between Ontario's interim sex ed curriculum and 2015.
Yeah, so they want to revert back to the old one. So there is a few differences. So
they're saying that the current difference is that they are implementing.
Right. So what are they taking out?
They're stating that this is what they're. In 2015, students learned the names of different parts, including genitalia, using scientific terminology.
Ew.
For example,
no, but what were they teaching them before though? What were they teaching them before?
They were still teaching them that.
The interim version, by the end of grade 1, students learn the names of major body parts.
Wait, so I don't understand. Okay, so what do you
with the new curriculum is starting at grade 1, 6 years old, that you're learning to name as vagina and penis.
Yeah, okay. but what is it? You want to call it wee wee and zizi?
I knew what that was. It's just none of my sentences ever included that. I'm a child. I'm 6. Why? What would I be saying?
Yeah, and that is why it gets a little bit a little tough as a discussion.
It's very detailed. There's different echelons. So with the LGBT gender identity and expression. In 2015 curriculum, it says teachers should always consider the needs of transgender and gender non-conforming students. And there's a grade 3, 6, 7, 8 curriculum.
Okay, so that is where the problem comes in. Because certain parents are like, whoa, the motherfuck, whoa, okay? I know that these things are out there.
You need to get through society, right? But this is the clear example of that, the school system in a whole is not really based on the family or the child, but it's the confirmation and transformation of becoming of creating machines of the society.
No, I think that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say I think that's a bunch of bullshit, because see, this country, this continent really itself is super divided. There are people who want to remain in the status quo of what they know, and there are people who want things to go on a different end of the spectrum, right? But see, that's what has always created true democracy, is the ability for people to be okay disagreeing and then finding some sort of middle point where we can both meet and be like, okay, you know what? I understand what you want and how you feel. I'll give you an example, okay? Canada just passed Bill C-16 or C-69, something along those lines. So where it almost makes it a felony to using the wrong pronoun when talking about a person who's not gender conforming.
So that's going to become a real thing.
Well, yeah, no, it's a Bill C-16. It's a real thing. It's there now. One of the most brilliant men that I've ever known. His name is Jordan Peterson. Okay, this guy was very smart man. This guy was a philosophy professor at U of T. Okay, now when Bill C-16, right? When Bill C-16 came around. Now, suddenly, there were certain things that were misusing the wrong pronoun. It's considered an act of violence, okay, against that person. It's considered an act of violence. Okay, so you're saying that if I look at you and everything physiologically about you says that you're a woman, but today you believe that your name is Keith, I am punching you in the mouth. That is what you're telling me right now.
You can't punch.
Punching you.
You can't.
No, but see, by me using, let's say for example, me using a pronoun like, he said, and then you happen to be like, no, today my name is Valentina, nigga. I'm non-gender conforming. Therefore, like, I am committing an act of violence. Look, I'm okay with you wanting to be called what you want to be called in order for you to feel some type of way. But do not make it a legal responsibility for me to want to have to learn new pronouns. And if I don't use them, it's now an act of violence. Because an act of violence is punishable by the Canadian Criminal Code.
No, okay. Listen, I don't think it goes. Okay, hold on. I don't think it goes that far. I feel like if you're introducing yourself, and like for me, like if somebody mispronounces my name, I'm gonna say it's Shanairah, not Shanairah. Like it's the same thing. If they say her, she'll say V, for example. So if that person doesn't respect that and they go against it and they want to be ignorant about it and be like, what? Why are you calling yourself that? Oh, because I am such and such. So, and they say, but you're a female. What the fuck are you doing? You're a female. And if they keep saying that and then being like that and like you understand, like being aggressive towards the person.
Bill 16,
C16.
The summary of it, right? Of C16, it states that the enactment also amends the criminal code to extend the protection against the hate propaganda set out in that act to any section of the public that is distinguished by gender identity or expression, and to clearly set out the evidence that an offense was motivated by bias, prejudice, or hate based on gender identity.
But okay. So that is exactly what I'm saying. So now, okay, this is the question that comes at hand. Okay, so I get your point. I get your point where you're like, okay, you know what? If you tell me that I only answer to Z, and I continue to call you he when I talk about you, is now the question becomes: is that okay? You know, I understand
that's disrespectful.
Yes, it is disrespectful and it is bullshit. Yes, but is it an act of violence? Because see, now that is where things like now start like kind of like...
It's not an act of violence, but it is an assault.
No, they're amending.
It's an assault. It's not an act of violence.
But what kind of assault is it?
It's an assault.
Harm you does not exist in our society anymore.
It's an assault, but it's not...
No, okay,
so... This is like, hey, if someone's like, oh, my name is Mary. If Rob all of a sudden is like saying, hey, my name is Roberta,
right?
And I'm like, what? Bro, why are you calling me bro? You just assaulted me violently.
Okay. You know what? Let's say for example, where do we draw the line? Okay, let's say I'm able to conform, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Yes, if you tell me to refer to you by V, I will do it. Then where do we draw the line? Then am I supposed to also be okay with you using the same bathroom as my daughter? Like, is that an act of violence if I'm not comfortable with that as well? Like, you going into... Because now you're not gender conformist. You a dude.
Okay.
So you can go into the same bathroom as my child. So, like, where do we draw the line? Where do we stop? Where we're like, okay, you know what? This is...
hate propaganda... I guess that's the kind of key terminology that we have to kind of...
No, but hate propaganda... This would be considered hate propaganda because I am not agreeing with a certain group of people. People who will listen to this, some of them will be like, yes, this is hate propaganda. But see, these are genuine questions, though, that are not being answered because the moment you ask them, you get labeled a bigot, you get labeled homophobic, you get labeled a racist, and then these people get fucking angry and they elect Donald Trump. Because they're like, yo, I'm fucking tired.
Nobody elected Donald Trump.
No, Donald Trump got elected.
Believe
that. Please believe that.
The public vote did not elect him.
No. The public vote may not have elected him, but he got elected in some of the biggest fucking states, which is the reason why.
It has no value.
No. The public vote has value. But see, this is the thing. Maine and California don't have the same exact voice when it comes to vote. That's why you have an electoral college.
Right? It's like the next level
No, it's all about who has. Because see, what is an electoral college? The electoral college is, let's say, for example, a certain state that may not have. Let's say if I have, like, my state has 1 million people and California has 30, right? So, like this guy, if he's doing well in California, he will always get elected. That's why you have an electoral college where, at the end of the day, now everybody has a certain level of representation. That's how the system works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why it makes sense. So the guy did win. But ask the question, why did that happen? This is why. Because these things are not discussed. And if you try to discuss them, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're homophobic, you're all these type of things. But that breaks democracy itself at its core right in the middle. Because civil discourse, right? No, it's true. The ability to disagree.
I at the same time, like you're very right about that. But when it comes down to it, what we can do about it is very, very obsolete. But the beauty of knowing it and what you just told me makes me think, like, what's the only thing that I can do in my life right now that is gonna give me the power to change that? And I feel like that's to create a group of people that are like-minded.
Of course.
Think the same way.
No, all revolutions start with a conversation. But when the ability to have conversations with people don't agree gets taken away, that is when, like, from the beginning, the whole entire thing is doomed to fail. Because you're there for anybody who does not believe what you're saying is demonized. Like, so immediately now it's just conflict. Like, we cannot agree based on words. What's next?
Right.
Look it up.
Well, you just have to be open-minded and be aware of the facts that, okay, these are behaviors that have happened over, like, centuries now. Like, this is not like a new thing, like gay people. Like, this has been going on since the Bible. Like,
as a race of humanity, nobody has been through the lives or the technology or the state of humanity as we are all talking in here today, right? Like, nobody has been through this, so there's no way to know what should be or what should have.
But see, you know what though? I disagree with that, because see, like, wherever you are in life, that is the most advanced that society has ever seen. Right. There was a time where the fucking, like, the locomotive, okay, the train, was the one invention that was equal to the internet. Are you gonna tell me that I can make it from here to Oshawa in 18 days? That is amazing. That is amazing. I can't believe.
It's like a day.
No. But see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. There was a time where the wheel, the ability to like how it was able to move people, that was the highest ever possible. Like, there is shit, like, our grandkids, not even our great-grandkids, these little niggas we gonna know. They will be looking at us and be like, what? Y'all used to do what? Y'all used to have open heart surgery? Y'all didn't get the internet at that time? Like, well, y'all had the internet. Y'all don't have apps that operate on the heart? Are you dumb? Like, were you dumb? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, no, that's our fault. They think that.
No, but see,
when it comes down to it, if like I have a grandson, I'm such a competent man in our society. I feel personally, when it comes down to it, like, I can save a life. I can, make money. I can, like, I feel like I know what's right and wrong. And that's really all I feel like that is important.
No, but like, you know what's right and wrong. But see, like the game doesn't.
Child and that child had another child, and we are, like, however long in the future, we're gonna have a conversation. We're like, oh, Uncle Shawn or Grandpa.
No, but like, but how?
Granny, Grandpa. I don't even know what would my grandkids call.
Nigga, fuck you and your grandkids. Nigga, nobody's talking about that. Nobody talking about that right now. Please stick to the subject, right? Because we gotta look at these things. Because see, this is why it's important to have these conversations, because these are the conversations that actually change the world. Because we all able to sit here, and you guys obviously disagree with me on certain points. Okay. You guys think I'm a little tough on certain things. But see, to me, the way I look at it, I'm like, yo, it's simple. The world has always been divided on one issue or the other, right? Mm-hmm. It has always been divided. This is not new. But see, what we can say here is be like, yo, we've been through enough of this shit that we can be able to be like, okay, what happens when people are put with their back against the wall? Because see, the new liberal left, like this fucking, just this machine, like pro, Clinton and the this and that.
Equal rights super.
No, it has gone out of hand. And I'm speaking as a black man. I am all for, because I understand things like that.
Well, what issues, for people that don't know what you're talking about, first of all?
Okay,
right.
Like, what issues are you talking about?
No, issues.
Listen to my question. What are the issues that you think are separating the people, like what you mentioned earlier?
I'll give you an example. Police brutality, right?
Okay.
Police brutality is a huge fucking splitting issue. On one side, there is these people who believe that the police wakes up to go on a good old Alabama coon hunt first thing every morning, right?
I'm going to stop you right there, because I remember you telling me, like, hey, you know what, the reason why these police officers are not being, like, charged and, like, taking accountability for what their actions have been is because of the fact that, it would go against the system, to where everyone would be like, holy shit, like, if I'm a cop, I can't be a cop based on our society's that's like discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm starting to now see is exactly what you're right, is like those cops just slowly start to be accountable for the things, and those things are gonna take time. They're gonna slow down.
But they slowly start to change.
But you know what? Like, we
but why do they change?
Have to go through that as a society.
No, but you know
like,
what it is though.
In like 10 years, our kids are not gonna have to go through this shit.
But see,
and
that
like
is
20
why
years ago, the shit that like our four families had to go through, we could not imagine. Like,
but you know what, Shawn? Let me tell you something.
The reason I relate is because as a Muslim guy, brown, going through the Marine Corps, like, I started boot camp as a recruit terrorist. I'm like, wait.
Recruit terrorist. That's what they called you.
Terrorist. That's what they called me. And like, until like a couple weeks in, which was the 13 weeks, of like, no, first person. You're always this recruit, or
right.
You're never me, or no. That's what the Marine Corps like boot camp pretty much. It's a psychological.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Going back to the point of police brutality. Okay. See, you said that like you ever since you and I started talking about the subject years ago, you started notice like small chinks into the armor. But see, here's the thing. To me, if you're a student of history, change should not take 20 years. If you are a student of history, if you know how things change on this continent, change should be like this. Let me tell you how change happens. Change boils down to one thing: money. Okay, it's where is my money being hit? Okay, because see, to me, when people talk about things like the Black Lives Matter fucking movement, like the whole
it doesn't make sense for the money to follow the instinct of
society, then things change.
Right.
Then things change. Like, look,
wow,
example,
that's deep.
When
right?
Kaepernick all of a sudden makes Nike sales go 1,000,000%
and
up.
Yeah, Pete. Now he's getting calls.
It's a pure responsibility for society, the people that own the money, to be like, hey, we better make sure that people
and that's why when people say that Donald Trump is racist, I'm like, you stupid than a motherfucker. Right. When people are like, yo, Donald Trump hates Arabs, I'm like, you dumb as fuck. Think about it. Hold on. Think about it. This nigga made like he made a living out of selling $50 million apartments. Okay, like an apartment in Trump Tower is anywhere between 5, 10 to 15 million. Do you think it's Doug in fucking Ohio who's going out and buying this fucking things? No, it's Prince Abdul Walid bin Talal and his cousins who are coming through to a look through, and they're like, yo, I got the cash in a plane. Come catch that. You know what I mean? But see, he will go.
Like, we're past the society is now in a moment now because of the access to information and like the way things are fucking managed.
No, it has made it worse because now people only consume shit. Because if you go on YouTube and you watch a sunset of shit, if you only watch CNN, everything you'll see on YouTube is all CNN. It has actually gotten worse because now we have these algorithms that know what you like. So they will. That's how the Russians were able to fucking infiltrate the elections. Right? Because they look at it, they're like, okay, we know who these crazy I'll give you an example, okay?
It's a distraction to me personally.
Look,
like I see what you're saying.
No,
it's
but like
so
it's
true. I wonder why. How come I search something in Google and it's like bringing up these
Facebook? You go on Facebook, there is an ad of shit that you were looking at.
First thing is is everyone I do business with, I have a WhatsApp group with, and me and their company.
Well, right? Fuck you and your WhatsApp group.
Okay,
yeah,
but guess
this
what?
is bigger than the world.
Guess what? Facebook bought WhatsApp. So anything you say around WhatsApp in your phone, you're gonna see an ad. Why
on Facebook.
Why do I see all these crypto? Are you a home services contractor that needs leads? Like that's every Facebook
home
ad.
Stars.
I'm like, no, I generate the leads. What the fuck?
No, but how do you know? How do you know? How do you know, motherfucker? You seem to know me personally.
Like, I have no Facebook app on my phone or Messenger.
You know what I mean?
I just have WhatsApp, but that's how big
WhatsApp is like Facebook now.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. But see, that's why I always say like Mark Zuckerberg in 10 years is gonna be the richest man in the world, simply due to the fact that he retails the one commodity that is gonna be bigger than oil in 10 years: information. This guy knows what you eat. He knows what you fucking like drinking. He knows fucking everything about you. Like. I was literally like I was listening to this podcast a little while back. Mm-hmm. It's the Sam Harris is called the Waking Up Podcast. So he had this guy on who is one of those people that build those algorithms for Facebook to always know. It's like Netflix, right? Like when you watch us, they have an algorithm.
It's like suggested
it
for you.
Suggests shit that falls along the line of
what you've been watching.
What you've been watching, right? So this guy was talking about how, for example, like people who are depressed, right? Mm-hmm. People who are depressed are the biggest target for these companies that sell vacations. Because they know people who are depressed tend to buy vacations a lot more and tend to be a little bit more like, jumping to the gun and being like, okay, you know what, I need to get myself out of this. Yeah. So they will have an algorithm looking for all those like depressed statuses. Oh, I can't believe this nigga done did do this. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, Traveler City
so
is all up in your DMs. Like,
it's like you watch. It's like Netflix sells the fact that you watched The Notebook 10 times in one day, and then you get all these calls. You've just won a trip to Jamaica. You've just won. Like what?
No. It's what? No, it's what? Like they will do that on purpose. So like you have to understand. Like it's the same. Like for example, how like certain certain areas that were like highly like they voted Democrat a lot more than did Republican, like Michigan and all this type of thing. There are certain areas where they look for people directly who they know was susceptible to Donald Trump's message, and on their Facebook wall, all you'll see, you know what? Hillary Clinton is running a gang rape thing out of some pizza fucking restaurant out in DC and all these type of things. Like. They knew who to attack. I never saw, I know people in the state who never saw any of those ads. You know what I mean? But it's because they knew. Now there's these algorithms that know to a point. So,
yeah, for sure.
Like having more information available does not mean that people are smarter. People are actually getting stupider and stupider because it narrows down who you can hear now. Yeah. They know who to point in front of you. You know what I mean? But
based on your likes. Even on Instagram, it's like based on your likes, you would like a photo like this.
You would like that. And then you look at it, you're like, yeah, I do like this motherfucker.
On Facebook.
You know what I mean?
I actually do like this picture, and you like what they suggested you to like.
No, it's crazy. But so the age of information, like your point that you were making with all that information available is actually making it way worse. And it's creating a bigger divide because now people are like, yo, shit, like... people are so much stronger in their views now. Like, no one is willing to be wrong. That's what's so fucked up. Like, no one is willing to be wrong anymore.
You know what? I'm always wrong. But guess what? In my life, I'm the most right, non-white motherfucker I ever met.
Okay, listen.
Yo, stop laughing. Start being serious. Stop laughing and start being serious, guys.
Sean,
that's it. That's it.
We heard what you said. That was poetic. Thank you for sharing. That was a comedic
when
moment.
J. Cole came up to all his mumble rappers, it was like, yo, don't be black, be half white.
What? He didn't say that.
What?
Whoa, that's fake news. That is fake news. He say that? Don't be.
No, that's my boy though.
No, but you know what though? Like, listen, when it comes to that whole lyricists versus mumble rappers, listen, man. dude. Some of
that mumbo sounds pretty lit in the club though when you like 4 shots of Henny deep.
That was the point that I was trying to make. You don't want to eat filet mignon every day. Sometimes you just want some chicken nuggets.
And that's why.
You
know what?
Sometimes I want to listen to Little Pump.
It's gonna create that environment between me and my friends to where we just freestyle our own beats, just like I've always wanted. Anytime you all come to my condo. You want to come hang out? Guess what's gonna happen? We're all freestyling tonight. You know,
nigga. You always do this.
Listen, we on record. We ain't going.
We already said that. We all freestyle our own beats. Sean better than what fucking Lil Yachty the fuck he's saying. I guarantee you. I'll battle you, Lil Yachty.
I don't know. Listen, Sean. Listen, Sean. Sometimes
I never wrote a fucking lyric.
Listen, Sean. You're that guy who, whenever you get the aux cord, you're just trying to let everybody know. You're just trying to let everybody know what you've been doing in the studio.
I'm a tech house DJ. I'm a tech house DJ. But that's just because people that like house music are lovers, you know. I take care of my women. You know,
okay.
Y'all do just too much MDMA, and that should be hitting y'all funny. Listen, y'all need to stop playing. Listen, you guys are not rappers, goddammit. Like, listen, that is not it. That is not. See, to me, here's the thing, brother.
All right, you know what?
Listen,
because you know what? When it comes down to it, I'm really fucking happy these days. You know why? Not because of anything else, but I have the blessing in my life to have people in my life that can talk shit about whatever the hell we want.
No, that's true. We
can do whatever the hell we want to do. Yo, Shanairah, you're gonna kill it.
Okay, all right, my man. He's
very sentimental right now, and we really appreciate it. It's really nice.
You're good people.
But I want to talk about. I need to just talk about Kanye West, like that is just really having on my spirit, and my thoughts on him are very. It's not congruent with everyone else's, and that's okay.
Okay,
because I see it in a different light, because it's really ignorant to be so down on somebody that just wants to come from a place of love. Okay,
let's give the people a background for us.
No. Relax. He wants to make America great again. The hat. He wants to just wear the hat to show that it's not a white thing. I'm a black person. Like, don't see color for a second. Just look at it for what it really means. Take that for what you want it to mean for yourself. Maybe make America great again could mean more black businesses in America. Maybe it could mean a bunch of things for you. It doesn't have to mean like it's racist or anything. It's the same way. He's more I'm not done my point. Let me finish my point. Listen, it's the same thing with nigga. It was nigger. We turned it to nigga. And that's what we're using in every rap song. And that's how we're identifying each other and greeting each other for centuries now. But that was a very, very horrible thing that they say to us. It comes from us being lynched and all that. Slavery times. How are you taking that and glorifying it and making it all luxurious and making it all rich, hood nigga rich? How are you turning that upside down? You understand? Right. Before we want to fucking be against another black soldier that has, made it, maybe we could learn something. He's a genius mind. He may not be all there, but I don't feel like we should all be condemning Kanye West. I feel like, we should lead with love the same way that he's doing it. Because if black people were to fucking make America great again, or have that mentality, because at the end of the day, we're all living in America. It's a powerful country, whether we want to admit it or not.
You make a couple compelling points.
For sure.
You make a couple compelling points. Like, is he now? This is where I stand on the issue. Okay, for one, I am a gigantic fan of Kanye West's work. Okay, not only just because the work is great, that goes without saying. The man is a fucking creative genius. And not only, because you have to understand the reason why I said that you are a creative genius. You have to understand what it takes to survive just in the era of information as a music artist. Okay? Now, there is this thing where now content, you can literally create a song right now, put it on YouTube, and the whole entire world will have access to it. Right? Before it used to be some Jewish guy, you know what I'm saying, named Cohen.
Knows a guy.
You know what I'm saying? Who'll be like, okay, nigga, it's your turn. Now you go. Right? Now, that was at a time when motherfuckers used to put out singles. You know what say? You remember singles, Sean? Like a motherfucker would put out a single cassette tape with one song on it and tour off of it for 5 years. Those days are over. Like, to survive in this day and age... No. Like now though, because the content is so readily available, like hip hop fans are like crackheads. It don't matter how many times you serve this motherfucker. If you're not available tonight, he gonna call somebody else.
I know there was a rumor.
Right? No, hold on. So to that point, just to be able to survive, to have that type of longevity, already makes you a genius. Not just being talented, but having that skill, the hard work, because. You have to understand, like, first of all, when you're that good, your expectation levels are insane. Like, people said that Yeezus was shit. If Lil Pump released Yeezus tomorrow, we'll be like, oh, he's one of the GOATs.
He's a legend.
He's one of the GOATs. He's a legend. He's a legend right now. He's one of the GOATs. It goes Pac, Biggie, Lil Pump. No, you know what I'm saying?
Just valuing others' opinions.
But it's also about the expectation. When you listen to a Lil Pump album, you're not expecting nothing was the same. You're not expecting fucking Yeezus. Right. You know what I mean? So now, that point being made, right? This whole thing with him.
Lil Pump album, actually?
No, I haven't. No. Oh God, no. Oh God, no.
I have never.
Oh God, no.
And
God, no.
And there's a reason why I've never. And that's why we've always heard with it.
I would never punish myself like that.
Like the fact that you're even.
I'm bringing it up because as an example of somebody who people
have relevant.
He's very relevant, but we have very little expectations. Like of what he will bring to the table. Mm-hmm. We know we're not expecting a Carter 3. Like, you know what I'm saying? We know we're not expecting that. But if he delivered...
Was that a Millie?
Yeah, that's a Carter 3. You know what I'm saying? But so here's the thing though, right? So with the whole Kanye wearing the hat thing, right? See, people have to stop pretending that Kanye lives in the same world that they do. Okay? Donald Trump means something completely different to you than he means for Kanye West. Kanye West, like I was telling you earlier, was a guy who came in the game, right? He came in the game, and he was told that you're a producer, you can never be a rapper, stick to fucking producing. He's like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna go out there and fucking become one of the greatest rappers. And then they're like, no, Kanye, you cannot design clothes. Fuck you, you're a rapper and producer. You can be that, right? So he's like, no, fuck that. I'm going to build Yeezys, which became a fucking $1 billion shoe company.
A lot of people.
When he looks at Donald Trump, he looks at the guy who was told, like, yo, you can never be president because you're a reality TV show star. And then this guy went and became president. So Kanye, when he looks at him, is like, it's different. It's different. Like, you just don't see the same thing. Right? Like when people are like, oh, Donald Trump is racist because he wouldn't rant to black people. Do you think anybody has ever looked at Kanye and been like, I'm not gonna rant to you? That's you people problems. Okay, like that's you people problems. Like you have to understand, like people live different lives. Just the same way when you try to put yourself in the shoes of somebody in Syria who's fucking waking up to Russian fucking missiles falling on their village, you can never understand it. Because you don't live it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You can never get it. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Kanye West was not, like, born in money. That's first of all. Second of all, I understand, but, like, it is.
One thing, guys,
but
the
that's
point that
not
I get is that the same conversation happened to me in my own personal life right now before I walked in here. You know, my 94-year-old grandma was like, yo, where is this nigga? I've been in Canada for 3 weeks. He ain't even seen me. You know, and that's the text that I got from my grandma. You know, and
Your grandma texts? My grandma don't even have a phone.
No, but it's like a relay. It's a relay text.
Actually, I don't even have grandma's
My
number.
cousin liaison for that text, you know? So, like, pretty much like, yo, where are you? And the way I look at it, what you're saying right now makes sense. You know? I totally agree that, like...
She doesn't understand what you're doing to survive here.
Relating to Kanye West.
Right. You just don't get it. Like, you don't understand.
We should not be giving a fuck what Kanye West thinks.
No, you should be giving a fuck because...
I give a fuck, but I cannot care to, like, relate.
No, but see, what people say... but see, now, in a way, though, I understand also where the
like,
people are coming from. The people are coming from a place where they're like, yo, we supported you. We supported your music. We knew we were behind you before Donald Trump was. How the fuck is you gonna go around and praise something that we feel like oppresses us? But guess what? This person is a human being too. He has views and considerations on things. And you're telling him that since you supported him, okay, so why don't you do this? Why is it that you don't go to the guy who owns the fucking Esso gas station down the street and be like, yo, I've been buying gas from your motherfucker for the last however long. How are you voting in the next elections? And are you a racist? Like,
that's not the same thing.
It is the same thing, though.
No, it's not. It like if you want to like compare it to something, then say like a black person was wearing the Confederate flag or something like that. You understand?
No,
like something because that is the way black people.
Much the equivalent. Kanye has wore a Confederate flag before, and nobody said a fucking thing.
No,
he has.
On
a jacket before, he has.
Like Kanye West is trying to still be relevant. You know, Tiger Woods just came back, bro. Like, he just hit his 80th win. You know, when it comes down to it, like, that was the one guy that was like, oh.
No, but see, that goes to show you, though. See, America will always forgive you if you're good at what you do. Look at Chris Brown. And nobody remember what the fuck happened to Rihanna nowadays. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you tell me about it, I'll be like, yeah, I recall some.
No, but you know what I'm saying? But was a huge impact on what's talking about Kavanaugh these days, I feel. You know, because when it came down to it, that was when people got mad. They were like, I hate Chris Brown.
Yeah, but that shit was also like that shit was fucking ridiculous though. Like this nigga like really put a whooping on her ass. Like,
like the way I look at it right now.
Mind you, she's a Caribbean woman, and I'm dating one of them light skinned Caribbean women too myself. Like, listen, they can beat the fuck out of you.
No, but Rihanna
they can beat the fuck. Yo, I can tell you, Chris Brown caught some death ups too. He definitely caught some. Like, nobody beats a girl like that if she's not fighting back. I never put my hand on anyone in my life. But let me tell you something. That guy was not. He's not like a naturally
Rihanna
violent.
So
no, he is naturally
violent. If I was as I am today, if I was as talented as Rihanna, but I was a male version of a brown dude like me. Imagine if I had the talent of Rihanna myself, right? And I was just like, yo. You know, driver. You know, come on.
No. This wasn't. No. But see, no. This wasn't it. No. Hold on. This wasn't it. This is what happened. These people went to a party. She thought that Chris was fucking some next girl that was at the party. They started arguing about that. Oh no, that's the story. The girl was at a party. The girl was at a party. Right, they were at a pre-Grammy party. She thought that, and then, Chris started denying it. Oh, this was before we met. On the drive home. Yo, listen, I love my girl to death. We have had some pretty fucking wild drives home. She will put her hands on me for sure if I push her far enough.
What are you talking about?
No, this is what I'm trying to tell you though. Like, it's these. No, like, listen.
No one believes you.
These light-skinned Caribbean girls.
Strong girl, like my little sister strong. Like,
listen.
If I'm an only child. And if I had a younger sister, I wish she'd be as strong.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you. So, like, no, but see, like, now, I'm sure that, it started off as, like, a little la-la-la-la-la. And, like, listen, girls can get fucking violent. If you had a couple drinks, shit, that's fucking, like, you know what I'm saying, spiral out of hand. Like, girls can put their fucking hands on you. And they'll put their hands on you in a way that, like, yo, you know you can't touch me. You know you can't touch me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to start, like, fucking going at her like that, yo, this nigga is not dumb, okay? He was a fucking Grammy-winning artist. He knew he had a lot to lose.
But he was very young.
He caught the death odds. Like, He got a couple fucking ringing ones. Like, you know when somebody hits you, your head stops ringing?
Yeah, but he's stronger than her. He overcame her. He beat her up. He didn't get as much physical damage.
I don't think he beat her up. I think he bruised her.
What do you mean?
He bruised her, but he probably caught most of the hits.
That's not true. Where are the bruises to show it?
One thing I will say is that Rihanna, is such a smart, quality, like, when she stands next to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, but when it comes to love, nobody.
You're very degrading to women in your views.
No,
because,
I'm not degrading.
Yeah, you are because
I know how women get when they think.
Look at the pictures. Look at the pictures of Rihanna. Look at the pictures of Chris Brown.
No, listen.
So that's a man. He's bigger than her, muscular. You can't say that she overtook him in any physical way. No, she got beat the fuck up by Chris Brown. Let's not forget.
She definitely did. You're right. You're right.
So you cannot say that he got most of the hits. No, he did not.
Like, to be honest, if any woman that I've made her come so many times, like, it doesn't matter, right? But like because any woman that I've been with is my girl is like, okay.
No, but it still matters if you whoop her ass on the ride home.
But like one hit from me is gonna give the Rihanna look.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
one hit.
To me, any man, give me a man. One hit from me. Bro,
you're going to sleep.
That's not nice.
Yeah. Like Rihanna does not have the same strength. Of course,
I am a strong motherfucker.
Listen, this is what I'm trying to say. Listen, whatever happened.
Rihanna could hit me 50 times, and I might not look at it. I've never seen a Chris Brown picture since that.
Yeah,
because he didn't post that shit. Even if he had a black eye, if I was
you're not gonna be posting that. You're not gonna be posting that. You're not gonna be posting that. No, but
Rihanna was like, look what he did to me.
No, but here's the thing. Whatever he did. Listen. Whatever he did.
I feel like a lot of Caribbean women, they fight back for sure.
Oh yeah. But
not to mention a lot of them that has grown up in a violent setting. Those are the ones mostly that would be more prone to be fighting back.
No, they're strong women. But you know what? Those are the ones. Those are the ones that also fuck you back. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that. But see, listen. Them Caribbean kids, yes, they will whoop your ass, but then they'll also fuck you back. It's that little violence. It comes out in their sex. They fuck you back. They ain't lazy when they fuck. They fuck with a purpose.
You know what I mean? When I was
fuck with a purpose.
When I was pulling girls in like Cali, Texas, like where I grew up, like it was beautiful. Like I was the exotic. When it comes to like Canada, I'm the exotic to the brown girls all of a sudden because there actually are some, and like the brown girls are like, wait, you're not an actual brown guy though. Like,
listen, this bitch has been to Brampton. This bitch has been to Brampton. They know what's available. Goddammit.
No.
You know what I'm saying? They don't walk one. No, but see, I will tell you. Like, I would never consider myself exotic in Toronto. There's too many niggas. But I'll give you an example. Drive 2 hours down. Drive 2 hours down to Port Colborne, Ontario. That's all when in school. Shout out to Lakeshore Catholic High School, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there. I'm one of 4 niggas in the school, and 2 of them are related to me. You know what I'm saying? So like already it's different. Some of these bitches will fuck in the name of science just to be like, yo. They'll be like, yo, let me do an experiment. I heard y'all got long dick. Let me see.
Just tell them that you did Bikram yoga.
Like, you have to admit it. Like, I feel like you've dated more Caucasian women than you have black women. Like, is this true?
I haven't dated a lot altogether. That is really the truth.
What's
I haven't
dated?
I feel like you've had sexual. I'm trying to be politically correct because I feel like in the beginning I was.
Somebody has to be. You share what you share.
I share what I share.
You shared what you shared. You better be.
Yeah. So basically, I feel like you've had more sexual encounters with Caucasian women than you have with black women.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I have all my belts, including my red one.
Okay, but what's majority?
What's majority?
What comes attractive to
I don't know. It's
like, not my choice, to be honest.
I'm also, like, believe it or not, like, I've been...
You can't even say.
I've had instances of monogamy. Like, yes, okay, look. All right, look.
Yeah.
It's all depending on what environment that you're in, right? The environment
that you've been in. So just say, it's been majority.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think it's a question of race. I've met some crazy white bitches, and some
of course you have
black women. Some very subtle black women that will never make
it's the reason
anything.
why what you're
You know what I
asking
mean?
me is true is because of the fact that anytime I see like a brown girl, she's like my cousin. You know?
Oh, shit.
All right, listen. You are a descendant. You are a descendant of Genghis Khan, and we all know Genghis Khan has like the highest. Like, isn't it? Doesn't it like most? Like most people are like really, like he's the one person in the world who has the most descendants or something crazy like that. This nigga was fucking.
Oh, I heard about that.
Raping and pillaging.
So that means that genetically you have this aberration inside of me that makes me want to go to see white women
to rape and pillage.
We haven't hit this area
to
yet.
Rape and pillage. Like you have a tendency to rape and pillage. Like genetically, is that what you're saying?
You know, I like a challenge. You know, I'm a challenged person when it comes down to it. Not mentally, but when it comes to life, I'm challenged. You know, like everything.
But you know what? You live in Toronto. Fucking like you want a challenge? Be fucking Emmett Till. That was a challenge. Show the fucking white bitch in the 1940s. You see what happened to that nigga? That's a challenge right there. Now fucking white white women is not a challenge. You need to stop it.
You want to go to jail, pretty much.
Oh, okay, no. No. Listen. Shout out to the white bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't
What?
do this. No. This thing is out here like spreading all kinds of fake news stuff. Like, listen, like it's all depending on the person and the reasons why.
They know I'm a coconut. You know.
What? Who knows that you're a coconut?
He's a
brown on the
coconut.
outside, white on the inside.
He nuts them cocos.
I played high school football in Texas. You know.
Yeah. Oh shit. So you've been with the Beckys. That's what you're saying.
God, my whole life, like I'm trained to be that person.
Yeah.
The one that makes them come. You know.
That's
The one that makes them come?
Well, yeah.
What are you saying right now?
Most of them that
I'm
fucking
talking from experience. You know.
you sound like most of them.
Make that shit up.
You sound like the majority of them fucking you are just rebelling against their dads. Like, yeah, dad. Yeah, fuck that. He's from Afghanistan.
Introduce you to him.
He's from Afghanistan!
I can still introduce you
know what
to
I'm
him.
saying?
He was a Marine.
Yeah, that I bet you'd be throwing them Texas dads off. It's like, ooh, I know your niggas is out here causing the problems.
Aren't you squeezing on the exhale, bro?
Like, like wait, hold on a second
that's
here.
how you pull a fucking target down, you know.
Yo, listen.
I'm giving some shooting tips.
Why you like? Listen, this is a no gun violence.
Look,
we are strongly anti-gun violence in this motherfucker now.
No. But you know what? When it comes down to it, I will teach.
What do you think? What do you think of that whole argument?
Duty.
Hold on.
As a brown kid, you know, growing up as the only brown kid ever, and coming to Canada and saying, "Hey, I want to be general population."
General population. What was the other
I
option?
moved to Canada. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm general population. There's so many brown motherfuckers here. My dick's the same."
Oh no! But you know what? Though? It's simple. It's simple supply and demand, brother. That's the number one law of economics. You come into anywhere where there's a high supply of you motherfuckers. Obviously, the demand is gonna be watered down because you know what I'm saying. There's some other. It's the same thing. Like you know what it is.
You know what the thing
you know what I would compare it
give
to
all brown guys right now, right? You know, when it comes to like Asians, all that shit, like they got some problems. You know, the black dudes they got us all. You know, when it comes down to it, they got us all. The black dudes, you know.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Are we at the top? Are we at the are black guys at the top of the? I'm not gonna say
talking shit game.
No. But like at the top of the totem pole, we're like, let's talk with specifically about white women, right? When they decide, we're like, you know what, I'm gonna adventure outside of my race. Who's like, what is?
I'll tell you.
What
exactly.
is
I'll tell you.
What is
black guy is like I want to disrupt my society, and brown guy is like I want to get off.
Black dick matters.
Brown guys like,
wait, no.
You know, like the thing is, okay, you know what? This is personal experience. You know, I don't know because I couldn't imagine to be a black guy. You know, at the same time, when it comes to the game,
it's fun. It's fun.
You know,
it's fun.
Of course
it's
it
fun.
is.
It's a lot of fun.
But like the thing is like the beauty of being a brown guy when they're asking, "Are you black?" You know, like
yeah. Oh, so
and I'm like,
so kind of.
I am black.
So kind of you technically want to be a black guy on paper. You know what I'm saying? You're proud of your your background and ethnicity, but when it comes to these hoes, when they're like, yo, so are you black? So you take advantage of that confusion.
I think that it's halfway there, right? Because the reason why I'm a black guy because it'd be that much easier.
It's easier though. That brings me back to the question that I asked you. How does the pecking order go, right? Like when we talk about like women trying to adventure outside of their race. How does it go? Let's say, for example, black, brown, Asian, and whatever the fuck. How does the pecking order go?
No edge on anyone when it comes down to it.
Really?
It depends on where you choose.
No, because there is
on where you choose to put yourself.
No, but see, here's the thing though. There is this general kind of like thing that is out there in the ether where black men are known to be well endowed, right? Do you think that helps when it comes to the whole like, I'm gonna adventure outside of my race? Let's say I had 3 options between, Daquan, Ling Ling, and Pradeep. You know what I'm saying? This is between Pradeep, Ling Ling, and Daquan, right? Where does the balance tend to kind of sway? And what are the?
Me personally,
No, I'm not asking. No, I'm asking like in general. Like if we're gonna say like general statistics,
it's gonna based on the mental capacity, right?
So you're saying that if she's not going brown, she's now mentally apt enough.
No.
She's like she's a mentally ill person. That's why she's not going brown first. I love how you kind of nodding your head right now. You're like, yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense to me. As a concept in general.
I can't talk about my cousins, but like I can talk about myself.
No, you sound like a cousin fucker. Like somebody.
When it comes down to it.
Whoa, hello. Admission time.
I have to never want that. But genetically, are we?
Yo, but you know what? No, genetically, your predisposition to fuck your cousins. Is that what you're saying, bro? See, here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I grew up around my for example, on my mom.
The reason why I'm so thankful you asked me this question.
Right.
Because I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Quick.
You're too late. You're too late now. But we still have to keep on subject, right?
It makes sense. It makes total sense. Because the way I look at it is like.
So if you're to name the pecking order,
that I know as a brown guy
right,
that have married and had children with their own cousins. This is a normal thing. The reason why this makes sense to me is because I look at it as like, yo, that's your cousin, bro. That's your cousin.
So are you saying
I'm in that generation?
Let me ask you a question. Are you coming to terms with the fact that your cousins find you attractive? How many of your cousins have tried to fuck you in the last denominable time?
No. We're not weirdos.
No, it's not a weird thing. No. Listen, no. But you have to understand. Like you have to understand. Like the concept of fucking or marrying within the family came from a place of wanting to consolidate wealth, right? Exactly. So if you want to keep the money within the clan, you pass it with it. Like that's why like most of the royalty in Europe, for example, is related, right? The king of the king of the Netherlands is the cousin of the Queen of England.
Movie Gladiator, like
that's your favorite movie of all time, really? That's it. That's your favorite movie.
But like it's talking about like, dude, when it comes down to it, a dude who's had nothing. Maybe guys like me who fucking had their backs against the wall when it comes to living in society.
What does that have to do with you fucking your cousins, Shawn? Yeah, you're gonna.
I don't want to fuck my cousins.
Listen, brother.
You know what's crazy? Is the whole fact that we're talking about this conversation, because a woman is a woman and a male is a male, right? And growing up as an adolescent, right? Something I guess this guy Kavanaugh is being judged upon his quality of personality. It's like, hey, when you were like 17 and you were in high school and like your boys in 1970 were like, yo.
Le Cortega's going into the room. Run.
She been asking for that CC Canadian Club all week, bro.
She is ready. No. But you know what though? But see, here's the problem. Like we live in a society where people refuse to acknowledge the obvious. Do you think all those like Democrat fucking senators that are all pointing their fingers at Kavanaugh, they don't have some shit? Like, you lucky you came out before the age of Twitter.
The reason you're asking me this question is because of the fact that we are all guilty of being a fucking man.
No, but we're not. No, okay. Let's unpack that. Let's unpack that.
But it's being told and saying, hey, okay, like we're not peer pressure mode to like destroy someone's mental fucking state of life.
Right.
And like that's where I feel like the women come from. Is like where there's a point to where they cannot be intimate with any man because they just hate men all of a sudden. All of a sudden because it's like these guys tied me up when I was drunk. I was kind of okay with it, but the fact that they did and I've had a child and I'm like a 50-year-old person, and I now have competence and to understand what like how fucked up situations in life can be. But as a person that's gone through trauma personally, and just like I know you are, that's why we're good friends, because it's like there's a very few people that can understand the shit that we've seen, as children or whatever the fuck it is.
But see, okay, hold on. Okay, so let me make sure that I understand where you're going with this. Okay, so you're saying that as a man, because you have seen a certain set of things, it somehow justify a certain set of behaviors?
No. Like Professor Ford, whatever she's saying when it comes down to it, it makes sense. She's like, I do.
No, that shit did happen. I can definitely tell. Like, I can tell it did happen.
I'm not saying that it didn't.
Right.
I am so thankful that she had the fucking audacity, like not the audacity, but like the courage, the balls, the moral fortitude to come through and say, hey, you know what?
I feel like
this guy should not be a fucking like. Fuck this guy. He's fucked my life. But like,
okay, so then is it moral fortitude, or is it the fact that people wait until somebody is, because if we look at this and the Bill Cosby thing,
it's worth it to them. Oh, I like what you're saying.
Right. If the NBC thing is really what happened, right? So what is this? Do we now wait? Like their actions don't matter until they are at the climax of their careers. So now is this now
human history to where it could actually be presented? Because I guarantee you, every fucking Supreme Court judge that's been on the Supreme Court has probably had some fucking shit just like Kavanaugh.
But see, here's the thing though. See, here's the difference. We don't even have to go. We don't even have to go that far out. Let's look at fucking Clarence Thomas. We were talking about him earlier on in the episode, where and his situation was dealt with differently. Because now, we live in an age now where everybody's opinion matters, right? If I am Nike, and I know that, let's take the example of Rick Ross. Okay, Rick Ross is the one example that I use when the system has finally gone out of whack. Rick Ross goes on the remix of, what was the song? She Ain't Know It. She Ain't Know It, right? He goes, and this is what he says. I put Molly in her champagne. She ain't even know it. I took her home and I enjoyed that. She ain't even know it. Yes. To your white ears, Becky, it does sound like Rick Ross is saying that he drug raped the bitch and took her home. But guess what? If you ever did Molly in your life, you will know that's not a rape drug. Molly is not a rape drug. You don't put Molly in her champagne and took her home and she ain't even know it.
No, but
she definitely knows it.
Rick Ross just
but think about it though.
Pretty much stating, do not say shit about anything
that you do not understand.
Get twisted on. Like you don't get twisted on.
If he said I put G in her champagne and I took it home, I'll be like, oh my God, yes, Rose, you a damn rapist. You know what I'm saying? We need to ask some questions. I just bought the new album. I don't think I want to go to the black market anymore.
That bitch asked for cheese.
No. Hold on. Right,
She's like, can I get some of that? No, but see, my uncle gave it to me, or I don't even know.
Okay. All right. See, obviously now you're making some sort of admissions.
Yeah.
No, listen.
No, I'm not.
No, but look at it.
That DocuSign.
No. Listen, brother. Look, I want to say that whatever opinions are being voiced on this podcast,
I know
the opinions.
Joke yourself.
No. But like seriously though, but see,
I have a cat.
No, right? But you know what though? You know what though? There could come a time where this recording could fucking eat your life. Like people could bring it up and be like, yo. People could be like, yo, these were your thoughts. But see, guess what? Nobody gives a fuck now until you are at the climax of your career.
And
so what are we gonna say?
DocuSign, you know?
No, but see, what are we gonna say?
That DocuSign not gonna save you, bro.
It ain't gonna save you, bro.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? No, but think about it though. But see now.
At the same time, what does that do to me as a man?
No.
Who has so much quality and value. You know, when it comes to going out and picking up girls, whatever it is that most people do, you know, like, I'm like, yo, you know what? That's your choice. You know? And like, I refrain myself. So when it comes down to it, like,
But see, that's what I mean. That's what I mean by these conversations have to be had, because just the things that we said on this recording are enough to make sure that we will never be nominated to the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying?
Thank God.
No. But see,
want that
but see, here's the thing though. You know, as artists, we can claim that, like, you know, this is art, this is us expressing our opinion, freedom, like, you know, but nobody really gives a fuck. But guess what? If Nike wanted to give me an endorsement, they will have to listen to this and think about it twice. But see, to me, I don't want an endorsement from anybody or anything that I don't believe in. Right. You know what I'm saying? I used to make this joke on stage where I'm like, yo, listen, instead of a Nike endorsement, give me a Plan B endorsement.
What?
Give me a Plan B endorsement.
What?
You know? But
that's only 99.9.